now? I hope so. So hopefully it actually shows up this time. Awesome. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know what happened last time. It didn't, apparently it was out, but it wasn't all the way. So, hey, if you get here early, you're early. I'll answer your questions first. This is a celebratory moment for the channel and pretty much everyone in crypto, because the bigger crypto grows, the better it is for everyone on this planet. Maybe we'll get into that today. But yeah, the last I checked just a few seconds ago, we were at 5554 subscribers. So if you want to be 5555, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, everybody. It's been such an encouragement from the whole community with all the support you guys have been giving me. And I like giving back to the community. I like sharing what I know, and we all do better because of that. Everyone else has been doing it, that has been doing it before me, has been giving their time and efforts, and I really appreciate them for that. And, maybe I wouldn't even be here without some of their efforts, with their encouragement. And so we have a lot to give back to those people who have helped us out along the way. And this is just my way of helping people out. Because I really believe in this stuff. This is earth-shattering technology. Alright, let's see if we can actually find my live stream here. Because my chat obviously does not work. There we are. Let's see here. Make a little Twitter post. Shareable link. 1 second, everybody. Feel free to share the stream. 5555 subs. Let's go. Who's excited? All right. Look at that sacrifice amount. Who is not hyped about that? That is amazing. Over 108, almost $108 million of Ethereum. 40 million, what was that 40, 55 stablecoin, maybe 57. Amazing. Now, if only I could get to the chat. Wait, is it seriously only people? Oh my. It's not even set to public. Public. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. And publish. Ah, there we go. Wow. Okay, so now it's live. Maybe. Let's hope it's live. Come on. Maybe my chat will work this time. What's up, everybody? In case you missed that whole beginning part, because I guess it was private. Now it should be public. That's awesome. This is to celebrate the 5555. I'm like 1 subscriber away, and I was gonna do something else today, but I was like, man, it's so close. I said I was gonna stream when we hit 5555, and so we're gonna stream. We're gonna answer everybody's questions in the chat. Can't wait to hear from you guys. I really, really appreciate all the encouragement you guys give me, and I learned all this excitement, and a lot of knowledge came from the guys who came before me, and maybe I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for some of them. So I have a lot of thanks for those guys who came before me, and they're the reason the community is already so awesome, and I'm able to get so many subscribers so quickly. Still no. Weird. Still can't see any chat messages. How do I get over here? Let's click that. If I can hear myself for a second. I can't see any. Aha! 23. What's up, guys? What's up? Caleb Jones, he says, hell yeah. Wade Emery, hey, what's up? Valia Brand, congrats. Thanks, man. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, we'll just have to use the YouTube chat. Don't know what Restream's doing. Does not show any messages ever. Good to see everybody. I see you guys. Valiant Brand, that guy's awesome. You guys gotta go subscribe to his channel. He releases like hex clips from Richard, and he does his own content. He does live streams. He donates to like every channel. He like donates more than anybody else in the whole ecosystem. So Balliet Brand, awesome guy. He has a Sci-Vive channel, which I'm all about as well. I love people improving themselves so that they can improve the world. So if you want to improve the world, you gotta improve yourself. Congratulations. Thanks, Crypto Freedom. Congrats, homie. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Can I swap my PulseX and get Pulse? And which one is better? All right, well, if you're wondering a lot, I've been getting this question a lot about can I, on the first few days of trading, can I trade my PulseX for Pulse? And the answer is most likely yes. And it's not going to have a US dollar, denomination because there's not going to be, I mean, there will be stable coins in there, but they're going to be like not actually redeemable. So I don't think those are going to stay pegged to a dollar. And so what you're going to have in these pools in the PulseX Pulse pair is you're going to have just a ratio. It's going to be this is how much Pulse it is to PulseX. And so if you can get 2 Pulse per PulseX, well then PulseX is more valuable by the market. Like the market agrees. Oh, now I got something through the restream. That's cool. All right. Oh, something's showing up there. It wasn't earlier. There you go. Now you guys can see your stuff on chat. Anyway, so I'll get to the super chat. Thank you so much, Ballet Brand. And so it's going to be a ratio. And so if you want more pulse exposure, you're going to have to go with what's the ratio the market thinks it is, And as the market gets larger and larger and there's more economic actors coming in over the bridge in the next several days, after that, it's going to be just, a price. And if you care more about your dollar value than your crypto holdings amount, then maybe you'll wait till there's a dollar value attached. But if you just care about the ratio of the crypto you hold, maybe you want to sell some of your PulseX for Pulse early if you think it's a fair ratio. Once dollars are involved, it gets like a little more complicated and there's going to be more money in the system after the bridge opens up. So it's up to you. I recommend holding all the Richard Hart projects. He has a track record of releasing good stuff. He releases good code that lasts for 2 years and has no issues at all. That's very rare in crypto. So many projects that come and go and they have, version 2. Oh, why do you have a version 2? Oh, because the first contract was hacked and we lost all the money. I don't know why people continue to work with people who just fail time and time and time again. I think people are just desperate for gains and they don't want to wait. Like I purposefully was not trading anything for the longest time because it's just wait for PulseX to come out and PulseChain sacrifice as well and just get in on those. Those are okay, you're not making money before you get there, but as soon as you get in at the ground floor of a project, you just have to wait. Especially something this good. Valley Prince says, you're doing a great job. Thanks, man. Strong arm. Thanks, man. You're awesome. Igloo Mamba Boo Boo. That guy's all over Twitter. He's tweet storming and stuff. Aren't we supposed to tweet storm some guy today? Crap. I keep forgetting to do that. I did it yesterday for Dead Mouse. I used to call him Dead Mouse 5. Don't give me any scrutiny for that or whatever. But I do like that idea that Lit came up with where we're using our community's numbers to our advantage. If you just have one guy yelling at like a famous person about, hey, Hex is great, they're either never going to see it or they just see one guy and they're like, oh, it's just a scammer guy. He's just a random guy with no subs. But if we send 5,000 people to go on the offense and spread this awesome technology to people, the reason that's powerful is because we value what other people value, okay? And so if you see 5,000 people saying the same thing, you start to think maybe they're onto something. If one guy in the middle of the streets shouting the end is near, that's probably not going to be right, But if there was 5,000, 10,000 people, you're like, oh, something's going down. And so when we use our numbers to our advantage, which we should because it helps us and everyone else win. I just don't see why we wouldn't do that, you know. So if you haven't checked out My Life is Awesome on YouTube, check out his strategy. If you want to join in, there's like a special Telegram and stuff like that. I'm going to get to these messages here. MT Coiner, thanks for the 369, and Bally Brand, thanks for the 369. What's up, Hexicans? Liked and subscribed. I wonder who got the 5555. Was that? Maybe we'll get to 55,555 today. That'd be amazing. But who got the 5555? I bet someone in chat did, because I started the stream and it was 5554. So I had to stream today. I said I would. So let's go. This is Heartonomics, but I'm on my meme account. Oh, okay, gotcha. Crypto 1559. I was so sad the first time Richard like read one of my messages in chat on like a stream, because I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much." This is what I said in chat, and he actually read it. I was like, "Thank you so much for the book you wrote and all this stuff, and I've started making videos because of you. Thanks so much." And he reads it out, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, man." He reads out my name that I was on my alternate account. Didn't say my K for K, so that was a big rip. I was so sad about that. Anyway, who's excited for the freaking launch of PulseChain? Hands in the chat. This is gonna be the best thing ever. You guys realize that like Ethereum did 16,000x in 6 years, and they're highly inflationary, okay? We don't have that problem. They also have high fees, and all those fees is people who, and it goes to the miners who sell that. So all those fees, like $1.5 billion worth over the last year and a half, I did the math on it. That could be money that stays in the ecosystem and lets the holders keep that value instead of giving it to miners. So that's pretty sweet. Congrats, legend. It's Darren Gradsky. Do you think we'll have another hex run up in the last 40 hours of sacrifice phase? Hey, that'd be awesome if we did. Didn't seem to work out that way last time in the Pulse sacrifice. But I thought since this one was longer, the game plan might have been changeable a little bit. But I don't know. Whale games are whale games. It would be cool. I've kind of I've averaged in over the first day, second day, third day, because the gas fees aren't that bad to send a sacrifice. It's like $20 or something. It's not like $100 to send it. Then you're like, but so because I just accepted it from the start. I was like, I'm not gonna get the best sacrifice price, but I'm also not gonna get the worst sacrifice price. Because if you just wait and you're like, oh, hope it goes up, and it only goes down, and then you still have to sacrifice because you haven't yet, then you get possibly the worst price. So I didn't want that to be me, so I'm happy getting a nice average, you know. What's the most efficient way to sacrifice GBP for... I don't know anything about other currencies. Super curious to the rough amount you sacrificed. Why would I tell you that? Why would I tell you that? I really believe in this project, so I put a majority... Is it a majority? I'll just say a decent amount, you know. More than my PulseChain sacrifice. Hello everyone, congrats K4K. Awesome work as always. Thanks, man. Man, how do I gotta make this so I don't have to look over all the time. PulseChain or PulseX will perform better, you think? I think PulseX will. I guess I can get into that. I just don't want to fall behind in chat. I'll read everything out and then I'll get back to PulseX versus PulseChain, because everybody's like, they ask me that all the time, like, which one do you know will do better? I don't know, guys. You can figure it out for yourself. And if you knew something was going to do better and you could figure this kind of stuff out, like for sure, 100%, then you can make infinite money, okay? But no one can actually do that. And anyone who says they do know exactly what's going to happen, they're just lying to you and probably trying to get something from you. So just take it with anything I say with a grain of salt. It's never financial advice. I'm just looking at some mechanics of how other things worked, and you can kind of figure out, well, this should be better, and then you can kind of derive from there why you think this may perform better than something else. But in the end, it is up to the market to a major degree. Mechanics can only help so much. Oh, I'll get into it, but I am very excited about PulseX. I think it's gonna crush it. All right, I gotta get off my meme account so people don't think I'm trolling. Okay. We got some whale symbols. Hey, do you know if PulseX is gonna have staking or just liquidity pools? PulseX will not have any staking. You just hold it. But what you care about is price appreciation more than anything else. If you get more tokens, but you don't have any buy power or buy pressure for the coin that you have tons of because of staking, it doesn't matter, you know? You need some liquidity to sell into or someone willing to buy the thing that you have so much of that you're getting for free. All right, so hey, and PulseX has that automatically. Well, we won't say automatically because it's not automatic, but it will be only directed towards PulseX. So lots of buy pressure. Hey bro, just sacrifice more ETH and Link. I don't want to use any more of my valuable Hex. Word. No, Hex is awesome. I don't think Hex is like a bad hold at all. I keep holding lots of Hex. Yeah, let's go. Crypto Freedom. He's got the pointing to the rocket that's also a money bags with money bags. Been blowing TF up. You will hit 100K 2022. That would be freaking amazing. You know, we might hit that. That would be super sick. We're over 0.5%. 0.5% towards 1 million subscribers. We got, let's see. Oh, not listening to, oh, man, is this, am I missing stuff? Oh, I almost did. All right, I know Hex from the start until has gone up a significant amount, but what would you say about getting into Hex now and holding it long term? I still think Hex has amazing mechanics. It has a great way to incentivize holding and not people not keeping tons liquid, and so when people are just holding something for many, many years and never selling, that's good for price. Now, PulseX, sure, you don't have the only incentive you have to hold it is that it will appreciate over time because of the buying pressure. So, you know, which is why most people hold this stuff anyways, to accrue buying power. Okay, how to make parents happy. What? What is life advice? I don't know. It depends on your parents, I guess. Some parents are narcissists and you know, never have to, you'll never be able to make them happy probably because they only care about themselves. But then you have, you know, really great parents and then they can, they're happy if you're happy. So hopefully you have one of those and then just go out and be happy. Go give value to others. That should make you happy. And then you can live a nice, fruitful life. And your parents will love you. Oh, I just removed his message. Okay. Okay, we read that. We're all going viral with Richard and the charts. That's right. Not listening to mainstream media is the only way to make the correct decision. Yeah, I mean, if it's mainstream and everyone knows it, there's way less value in knowing that information because everybody else already knows it. So, yeah, I don't really watch the mainstream stuff. If it's super important, like a meteor's coming, then you'll know about it whether you watch the news or not. People will tell you. We should try and establish a 1-to-1 ratio Pulse and PulseX with the bridges before value is established so that people can get the balance they want before. It's all up to incentives, man. No one has this ability to choose what a price is, just them. That's kind of it's like antithetical to the open market, you know, to the free market. You don't want price fixing. That's like communistic. Because who has the power to choose that stuff, you know? You can't say this is worth this always because not everyone values that stuff the same way. And no single person knows prices better than the whole world combined, all their minds deciding at once. So 7 billion minds are smarter than one mind, and anyone who thinks they know more than 7 billion minds is just arrogant. So I wouldn't suggest price fixing. I know you don't know, just wondering what you're thinking. Okay. Bloody. Okay, already over 5,000, yet Bally Brand still languishes under. Bally's not over 5,000? I thought he was at like 10,000. Well, everyone here should go over to Bally Brand and give him a sub. Why wouldn't you sub? What does it cost you to go click a sub button on somebody's channel or a like? Like, if you want your stuff to succeed, you want to help people who are also helping the thing you're in succeed. It doesn't make any sense to not do that, in my opinion. Especially when it costs you zero time, zero money to do so. You know what would be awesome is if we had someone in the community create like a maybe I think there is one. It's like everyone maybe it's everything Hex related, but it should be more widely known. Something that's just like, hey, everyone in the Hex community, go to this website. Here's every Hex content creator. Here's every like major person's Twitter account. Here's their all these accounts, and it just is it's a quick way so everyone can like all videos, subscribe all accounts, follow all Twitters. We would like because obviously it's time uh, prohibitive to go and find each individual person, and that's why people don't do it. No one wants to be a little click bot, but if we could create something like that, that would be beneficial for the community. Alright, best way to get more pulse, sack more for PulseX, then swap to PulseS, or market buy pulse at launch. Well, the thing is that pulse will have a ratio to other things as soon as there's like someone makes a liquidity pool, which will happen before the bridges are over. And so if you wait to bridge over stuff, you're going to be like hours or days late to other people potentially getting it at a lower price. I don't know. It's it's also going to be lower liquidity day one than in the future, and so you're gonna get more slippage and stuff like that. So I don't know, market buying. You definitely want to get some, like just maybe average in. Averaging in isn't a bad deal. Like kind of like what I'm doing with the PulseX sacrifice. You don't get the best deal. You just have to accept that. Don't think you're ever gonna buy the very bottom and sell the very top forever. Like just accept you're in the best thing possible. You get some of everything, you're gonna crush it. So, man, I thought I was gonna be able to get to everything before I talked about how PulseX I think is gonna do better than Pulse. Oh, okay. Let's try and read fast. Not listening to the mainstream. Yeah, we did that. Thanks for being here. No problem, man. I love being here. Best way to get did that. All right. Which do you think will perform better? Oh, we already did that one. 4K on TikTok. Nice. Yeah, like we should be following everyone on TikTok, get their followers up. It just helps the algorithm, and then we dominate faster. Pulse Mainnet will be live. When will that happen? It's gonna be after the sacrifice phase, which is after the 25th of February. So it won't happen before then because you need PulseX, and everyone can still sack and get more PulseX up until that date, and you need PulseX to be at launch. So it's gonna be March or late Feb, my opinion. Can you explain the volume bonus and how climbing 50 positions in leaderboard will affect the bonus? Okay, that's interesting. I guess I can give everyone that one spreadsheet of how it worked last time, and you can kind of extrapolate how much your bonus is going to be versus everyone. But if you just go to PulseX lead, I think it's .com, then you can see where you rank versus everybody. And then if you use that spreadsheet, I guess I can find it. Oof. One sec. I like to be helpful, so make sure I don't reveal anything too crazy. One second, I'm gonna get this guy a spreadsheet. It's a good spreadsheet. Da, 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 da. You guys are awesome, by the way. Thanks for coming by. There it is. This is like a super spreadsheet. Like, very. If you're in my Telegram, the Pulse Theory, it's posted in there. It's pinned there. Right. Just gonna post it in the chat. I think I can share this. And everyone who's using this, make sure you just save a copy of it for yourself. And then it doesn't like overload Google. You can look at it your own self. So you hit File in the upper left-hand corner. I'm just gonna post another one. Hit File in the upper left-hand corner, and you just what is it? Make a copy, and then you can save it to your own drive. Now, what you want to do on that spreadsheet is you go down. You can actually, is it on the first page? Yeah, it actually is. I guess I could bring this up on the screen. Yeah, I guess we'll bring it up on the screen. Let me just look, make sure nothing terrible is going to be shown. Yeah, this is probably good information for people to have. All right. Thanks for showing up, everybody. One second. I'm gonna open up a new video window. Let's do the other one. There we go. We got like 20, 30, or like, oh, just 11 or so. 16 viewers looking at it. All right. We got almost 200 viewers on the tube. Awesome. Feel free to let people know. You could tweet it out. All right. I'm gonna I don't know if I should. Guess we'll look at it. All right, let's take a look at it. All right, we'll hide that. We'll do this. Oh, you guys can't see anything though. I'll try and zoom in. We zoom in. Deep, deep, deep. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can help anyone else out with this. It's too zoomed in. For some reason, my zoom button doesn't work, so we have to go out a little bit. But if you guys want to check out the spreadsheet, I recommend it. Now, some of the most important stuff is over here. So in the last sacrifice, the guy who did over 10 million, you got a 2.3 multiplier bonus. Okay. And this is kind of how it played out. So if you were around this mark, this is the bonus you got. And now people are wondering like, well, why didn't this top guy get like 2.5 flat? Well, the way the bonuses work is only the first dollar gets the 2.5x bonus, and then it's the next dollar gets 2.499999. And depending on how many points are in the system, each space between the points is equal. It's a little complicated, but basically you don't get everything gets the top guy doesn't get every point and every dollar 2.5x. It actually is a bit less. So it's kind of good that they don't get a super amount, I guess. But we may see similar amounts. So like if you look here, like if you're doing around, say you're doing like 20K, you're only going to get around maybe 1.2x bonus. So if you're doing stablecoin sacrifice, the best days to do it will always be before the rate goes up at all. Some people wonder, well, but I get that bigger bonus over here, like on the first sacrifice. Look, I get 1.75x flat bonus. Look at this. But even if you, and so people thought if you had like lower, if you only had $100, would it be better to wait and get the 1.75x bonus? Because otherwise you're only getting a 1.0 bonus when you're like, well, it has to be better, right? False. Because you're not thinking about this rate that's continually getting worse over here. And so by the time you get that bigger bonus, it doesn't beat the first days, even with just $1 sacrificed. So $1 on the best days with no rate increase is 10,000. As soon as the 1.75x bonus hits, you are still getting, like with $1, you're getting only 9,745 bonus. So yeah, it's always better to do this early. And it's even more so in this sacrifice because it's such a long time before the before these 1.75x bonuses ones, compared to last time. So it's actually going to be way worse rate, and then still the bonus is the same. So you're going to get terrible. It's going to be really bad. So you just want to sacrifice pretty much as soon as possible before the rate goes up. Oh yeah, hey, someone just became a member. That's pretty cool. Pay Me Hex, Game Theorist. That reminds me, I have 3 other members of the channel, which I really appreciate. No one ever has to become a member. It's just an option. You know, if some people like to give back, it makes them happy. So it makes me happy too. I really appreciate it. I want to shout out the names. We got Oscar, YTC, and Don Figury. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for helping out the channel. You guys are amazing. I think like the first day I allowed membership to be active, Don was like a member. Like before, I never talk about it, and he was like, member. I was like, oh, you're the beast. You're a beast, man. So yeah, we don't really need to look at that chart anymore, unless you guys want to see some. Oh, you know what I could do? I could explain something. Oh, not this one. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, it is this. All right, let's go over here. This is on the same spreadsheet. So this is like the average cost of what people paid in the sacrifice of PulseChain, and that was with 670 mil. And so you could say like that's a starting price, but really the market will decide what the real starting price is. Most things that you get in before real open market, you are getting it at such a discounted rate by being so early that when it hits market, it's like 10x immediately. So I'm not saying you just 10x your money instantly, but most projects I've seen that have this type of release, you just start off at like 8 to 10x. So we might see that. Would be awesome. And Ethereum did that too. All right, so the way that these pools work at the launch is going to get a little technical. I made another video on this before already, but and I'll get back to the chat more here in a second. Here, 1 second. Say Ryan McEachern, thanks man, $4.99. Can you explain more about the AMM and how? Oh, perfect. It was like destiny. This guy made a comment. I was just about to do that. Okay. How does okay, so the AMM, I understand your question. So he's asking, how does the AMM suck up this liquidity? You know, I made a video on it, but I'll go through it here. I better get water before I die. All right. So the AMM, if he's talking about the AMM fixer bot, it comes in at the launch of the chain, and you know how Uniswap comes over, SushiSwap comes over, 0x comes over, V3 comes over, V3, Uniswap as well. They all have these pairs, and this is what like an example of a pool will look like. Okay, and maybe I should zoom in more. Just here, 1 sec. Stop. Feels ridiculous. Okay. Oh, my thing is blocking it. You guys are blocking it. I guess we'll just scroll later. All right. So the original pools, when they come up, like this is what it is before the fork. Okay. This is what the Hex ETH pool looks like. It looked like this several months ago, something like this. This is what it was on Uniswap v2. Now, once we have the fork, this is what the pool looks like, because the Ethereum gets turned into Pulse, and it's the same amount in the pool. And obviously, whenever there's 1.2 million times more pulse than there was Ethereum. This is not a lot of value. So what we have to do to fix the ratios so that someone doesn't just buy all the PRC20 other than, a beneficial actor, we have to do this little math here. Now, this doesn't show the math actually, which I realized in my video. I went back because I was like, man, why do people get asking me about this? I explained it. This doesn't show the math, and so it looks confusing. You're like, well, how does it get to this? But this is what happens to the pool. It puts this much more pulse in, and it takes basically 99% of the hex. Okay? To get this ratio, because that's what the ratio is here. It's like 50 to 1. And so then once that happens, it has all of that hex that it bought. It bought like 12 million almost and left barely any in there. And well, I don't have the I have the math in like a screenshot, and I've shared it in my game theory chat. So if you want to like fully explain it, I've put it in the game theory. It's pulse theory, t.me/pulse theory. It's only for people who are into helping and figuring out new things. It's not how to sacrifice. It's not how to make a wallet. How do I move my money around? It's more for the high end stuff. But you can read. Anyone is welcome to come view. But we've gotten enough members now where we can't just have people spamming up the chat with normal questions. So if you just read the pin messages, you should be able to find everything. Anyway, we have the math, and so you have to 1.2 million x the supply. And so this is what the pool looks like after the bot has put more pulse in to get that PRC20, because this is PRC20 hex. Then once the bot has all that PRC20 and it has the ability to mint pulse, and that's how it was able to put pulse in there. So what it does is it buys it up with pulse it mints. And what we know about the automated market maker in Uni v2 is whenever you buy something, whenever you're buying it up, it gets exponentially more expensive because it always tries to keep a reserve of one side of the liquidity. You cannot completely remove one side of the liquidity just from buying. It's not possible. It will always just make whatever is on the other side more expensive. That's why it needs so much. Now, if you look at this original ratio up here, oh, I'm not showing everything. Oh, I gotta move this. One sec. I'm gonna move the stream chat down a little. Okay. All right. And never do math on stream, by the way. Okay, let me see where I was at. Because this stuff literally took me a week of reading up liquidity pools and watching videos and looking through old messages in the one special group of, did anyone understand how this bot worked? Nobody knew. You could ask in any of the other telegrams, hey, how does the AMM fixer bot work? Crickets. Nobody knows. So I was like, this is kind of important because it's creating all this extra supply, which is actually huge because it's percent of the total supply and it will be in the market. And so you can't just think about, you're down here, more cool information. We'll get back to the AMM fixer bot. I know I didn't fully explain that. Is this showing everything? Oh, come on. All right. PulseChain sacrifice results. Oh, 1 second. Why is this? My one chat is bugged. Okay. There we go. Now, this is like the pulse minted from sack points days 1 through 17. This is before the OA stepped in. This is how pulse is going to look. So there's about 12 trillion supply in like non-OA owned addresses that we know of. Oh, and I guess an extra almost 2 trillion here. Never added that in before. Huh. All right, so there's like 14 trillion. Okay. And then, as you can see here, this is the majority of the supply. 114 trillion, 115 trillion. And then this amount will actually be for sale of these amounts. So 14 trillion, imagine an extra 3 trillion added to that because it'll be in the liquidity pools, which means it's purchasable. It's not off the market like the stuff that's usually sitting in the OA address. So that's important to know. That's about, we'll say it's like 12 trillion, three of that. That's, what is that, 25%? It's 25% of the supply will be in liquidity pools available. And then this dev wallet address gets 1% of the subtotal. And that's like 10% or so of the liquid supply, something like that. And so those are cool numbers. This is an awesome spreadsheet. Everyone should check it out if you can understand it. All right, now let's go to over here. I know spreadsheets aren't what people gets people excited, but I appreciate everyone showing up. I do want to kind of explain this a bit better than I did. So you start off with a hex pool, okay? Hex ETH, all Ethereum pools. This is what it does. You have the exact same thing on Pulse at the launch, except instead of Ethereum in the ratio, it's now Pulse. But obviously, Pulse is 1.2 million x less scarce, and so we need to fix that so that Pulse is actually worth a lot more. We need to we do this little math problem where we figure out how much it needs to add to make the ratio fair. I'm not going to show that because I don't have it prepared and I feel like showing off my Discord channel yet. This is what the pool looks like after the bot goes in and buys it up. It only needs this amount of pulse, which, as you can see, it's like barely any. Okay, that's barely any pulse. 500,000. That's less than $50. It's like $50 worth of pulse sacrifice if you do it that way. So, but now it increased the value of pulse because that's now the ratio of hex to pulse, which is way better than this earlier ratio. And so the next pool is what gets placed into PulseX, the exchange. Okay, so these are all the hex it bought from this pool. These two, like these things. The fixer bot came in and it minted all this pulse, and I'm not sure how many times this is. Like, is that 1,000 times? No, it's like, is that 100 times? Maybe it's 1,000 times more pulse or something like that. And so that buys up 99% of it. And then it has this amount of the hex. The fixer bot has this amount of hex. And then it has to keep that ratio when it doesn't have to, but it's choosing to because that's fair. It keeps that ratio and has to mint per this amount of pulse. It keeps this ratio and it deploys that into the PulseX liquidity pools. It makes a new hex pulse liquidity pool in there, but it took all of like the hex over here from the initial pools. This would be like the Uniswap pool at the start or the SushiSwap one. It's going to do it to both and then combine them both into a pool at this same ratio, but in PulseX. And so we have all the liquidity. That's how we get the liquidity. It was probably, without showing you the other math thing, which just confuses most people, you have to like use log to get the exponent because it's a square of how the price moves whenever you use the AMM. And so it wouldn't even make sense to most people. So you don't really have to get into that. But this is how the pools will turn out. Okay. And so this is the only liquidity you would see in like the Uniswap DEX. But then you'd have way more liquidity in the PulseX DEX. Even more than this. So that's why PulseX is going to be the most liquid. That's how it gets the liquidity. It sucks it up. So, yeah. I think we'll just close this for now. I think that's the one. Okay. Let's get back to the sacrifice. Boom. I'm going to get through the questions. I want to answer everyone's questions. We got Stanky Danko. Oh, what happened here? Where's my spreadsheet nerds at? Spend all day in Excel. Dig it, brew. Great content. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I love having actually raw data that you're like, okay, this is legit. This is how something's going to work. Then you can actually like extrapolate that to game plans and figuring out what's the best option. It's kind of like playing a game and actually knowing the rules as opposed to hoping you know what a card does when you get it. You know, if you don't know what all the cards do, you can't really make a good plan for what you have in your hand. So it's good to understand all the rules and every effect that could possibly happen in the game, and then you can actually build a plan based on the cards you hold. You know, it's a good analogy. Knowledge is power. All right, again, I'm gonna close this. There we go. Let's get to some of these chats here. Hopefully, I didn't kick everything else away. Oh, Kyler Kaufman, appreciate the content. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. That guy's pretty sweet. He was like in a show. He's like dressed up as a pony or something. I saw that. That was pretty cool. That's pretty awesome, man. You're gonna make it mainstream, dude. And I hope you bring crypto knowledge to like the movie industry people, because they got a lot of money, and I'm sure they don't like how. Well, I mean, people who have a lot of money benefit from the system we're currently in, but not everybody does know that, so I don't fault them for that. But hey, they have a lot of money, and I think the world's a better place whenever we have money that is uncorruptible, and no one has control to change the supply at any time. All right. I'm selling PulseX after the first big pump. You know, you sound like that guy who sold Ethereum at $3. But if you buy lower, grats, Jimmy Askenstrom. Hey, K for Corey, at Saki. Jose says, thank you. Why wouldn't you do 100K is a better question. You're moon running. I hope maybe you're talking about subscribers. We're moon running. That's true. Joke, Jimmy. I'm probably way far behind. Oh, the chat just jumped a mega time. All right. Hey, if you had a question you asked earlier, just ask it again. I will get to it now that I'm kind of back to the front here. Real sorry about that. I had to show everything that on that spreadsheet. 420 blaze it, if you say so. I'll take your word for it over my head. Okay. If someone thinks the AMM fixer bot works in any way different than what was shown, I would love to have a conversation with you, because I don't want to spread misinformation. I spent a lot of time figuring it out, and nobody else I've talked to has any idea how it works, and that's how I figured it works. And it's what people in the smart chat that talk with Richard came up with. So if that's not right, I don't know what is. No one else has made a video on it, so I would like to correct it if that's wrong, but it actually makes the most sense to me that that's how it works. So all right, is PHEX a 10 to 20x opportunity, sir? Sheesh. He says things. I've seen him around. Sometimes he's nice, sometimes he's mean, I think. 10 to 20. Dude, when they're printing dollars arbitrarily, and it just has to go somewhere that isn't the dollar, you know. It will go to things, and so pretty much any cryptocurrency that can't be inflated faster than the dollar should go up in value over time, as long as it's not a rug pull. So I would say yes. You know, it's very sad. It's kind of cool to think that we'll all be billionaires in dollar terms, but what that means is the dollar has lost so much value that this crypto we hold is technically worth billions, but you can still only buy, you know, so much with billions at that point. It's like a loaf of bread, 1 billion, please. but we'll have multi-trillions of dollars, you know. All fiat currencies fail, and we are in hyperinflationary mode. I did some math today. If you gold less than, I think, 90 years ago, you could get an ounce of it for $20. Okay? Fast forward just 90 years. Think, that's like, this could be in one person's lifetime. In 90 years, you lost 99% of your buying power. Because gold just last year went up to $2,000, a little over 2,000. So, and it's not because there's more demand. It's not because people value gold so much more and so they put more dollars into it. It's just that the thing we denominate all our value in is being diminished constantly and arbitrarily, and it's just really gross in my opinion. So crypto can actually save everyone from that. Before crypto, we really just there wasn't really much of a way out other than like a war and reset. But now that we have crypto, you can actually store wealth in your head that cannot be arbitrarily, inflated. So people can't steal your value from your head from this information. You can't just you can't confiscate it. I mean, unless you hack someone or something, but it's much harder to take than a physical item of gold or something. And so there's actually less reason to have war if we all had crypto because our wealth would be stored in our heads. And so if anyone wanted to get our wealth, you can't get it by force. So you'd have to be cooperative. We would be a cooperative society. You're like, well, if war and stealing is out of the question, what are your options? You have to work together to get better outcomes. And so the sooner we spread crypto, the sooner we get to a better world, in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna get some of these questions. Question: Can you sacrifice BNB? I'm not gonna. Well, just go to the Telegram channels that answer those questions. It's I don't know every specific coin, and a lot of them are just listed on the website. So you check out pulsex.info or pulsex.com. See what it tells you. If you can't find it there for sure, then check out the telegrams. I don't want to tell someone, "Oh yeah, definitely," because what if I misread your question and you're like, "Oh, you said I could send it," and then you're upset at me. So do your own research, make sure. I know you're probably just trying to double check, it's serious. You don't want to lose your money for nothing. So, I appreciate you respecting my opinion and stuff, but I would like verify it in text format, several different places that, yeah, I can send this coin and then I would send it. Hope that answered your question. Can you sack? Nope. Okay, thinking it'll be easier to sack ETH. Yeah, sacking ETH, it's not that bad, guys. People were like, oh, if you move all your stuff to a layer 2 so you can spend a penny for a transaction, that still costs you an ETH transaction to get over there. If you're just going to do it for the sack anyway, you just do the one sacrifice send and it's the same transaction. All right. PulseChain will launch before PulseX. No. I mean, well, I guess, yeah, technically, but it's going to be at the same time, basically. They have to launch at the same time. How much USDC do I need to sack to make a cool million in a year or two with PulseX? A year or two with PulseX. Dude, no one knows the exact amount of money required to make those returns. Anyone who says they do is crazy or lying. The best thing you can do is find a good project that can't be inflated arbitrarily, and it should increase in value over time. I think these have the best mechanics in crypto. It's deflationary, which is amazing. So there's not more supply just being added and diluting everyone. You're actually getting less diluted over time. You're gaining a percentage of the overall wealth of the system. Over time, by you just holding responsibly, you're not overspending, you're only using it for what you need, and you're not just trading and doing a bunch of crazy stuff or selling it for things that you don't need, then you increase how much wealth you have in the system because over time, things are supposed to get cheaper, which means the money we use, you could say crypto is money, like the best form of money. Your money should buy more products and services over time. And you're like, well, okay, but then everyone would just hoard their money. Well, what's wrong with that? there, people still need to buy things, actually. It's not true that people just would stop spending because are you not going to buy the new iPhone that comes out because you know it'll be cheaper in a year? No, you're going to buy the new iPhone. No, are you not going to not buy food because it's going to maybe be cheaper next month or tomorrow? No, you buy food still. So it just discourages unnecessary spending, which I think is a good thing because then we're not destroying the planet as fast as possible, like the inflationary monetary policy we have right now leads us to. And so this deflationary system, you're actually getting a larger piece of the pie of the wealth of the system, and it should be appreciating because as technology improves over time, everything gets easier to do. And so things go from costing a lot to becoming free. People used to have to pay for maps. Now we have GPS free on your phone. Nobody pays for maps anymore. You used to have to pay for Wi-Fi at certain locations. They make you pay to use it. Now it's just free. I had this whole list of stuff that's used to be expensive. Now it's free. But oh yeah, like this whole industry of photography and everything that used to be this big thing, part of GDP and everything. Now everyone has a camera. Everyone can store photos for free. It just comes in your phone. So there's so much in your phone that just is completely free that saves you so much time, and that's just amazing. So everything gets cheaper and more free over time due to technology. The only reason these prices stay up relatively is because of inflation destroying the value of the currency most of us are working so hard for. So if we get into crypto, that's why it appreciates so much. Because it can't be just changed. Like somebody doesn't just go, you know what, we're gonna like imagine Bitcoin and there was just this one like, everyone's it's like a fair game, everyone's get only the miners getting the inflation. We'll just say that's fair. Everyone's holding Bitcoin. Say there was just this party who can just, you know what, there's 1 extra million Bitcoin today, and we're just gonna give it to people who it just arbitrarily picks people who hold certain other stuff. And you're like, well, I don't hold that other stuff, so I just got diluted. And then everything goes up in Bitcoin terms because it's less valuable now. Because you need more of the Bitcoin to purchase something, because everything else would be denominated in Bitcoin. And so you're losing your value arbitrarily from a single party. And so it's not good. You don't want that. And so we have crypto now that has better rules and it's just better money in general. And so if you're holding the right cryptos, and I think we are going to do so extremely well. It's like people are like, "Oh, I just want to get 100x, 100x." It's like such short-term thinking. You got to think about how this is it's gonna eventually affect the whole world. Like people have been being like stolen from their value, the stuff they put their time and energy into for money. The money itself and the whole system around it, since the central banking system is instated, has been corrupt in a way where someone can dilute everyone except for a select few, and it concentrates all this wealth into a select few individuals who are already wealthy and hold stuff that appreciates based on the new money supply entering. All right, I know this stuff's probably driving people insane, so I'm working on figuring out a way to explain this stuff in just like 5 minutes so people understand the severity and the importance of cryptocurrency as a force against war and encouraging humans to work together for a common goal of improving the planet and improving everyone's life experience. Starting price might be due to that. Yeah, people say the starting market cap is high due to the sacrifice amount. There's no limit to how high the market cap can go. because they have infinite money entering the system, money that's not what money should be, you know? And so there's no limit to how high, in dollar terms, the prices of this stuff can go. So people who think they know stuff about what it's not, there's no reason because one thing is finite. You can't make more of it. Okay? So if they're making more of everything else, that thing holds its value, and the other thing, it'll be worth more of those things that they keep printing if everything else is the same, you know? But not only does our stuff, is it deflationary, like you're not getting diluted at all, you're actually gaining more of the total supply. So I do get that question a lot, and it makes sense in a certain way to think that because that's how it kind of worked in the past with stocks, but it's just not the case in crypto. All right. Everyone who thinks they sack will be a millionaire. It couldn't be further from the truth. Well, everyone will be a millionaire in dollar terms in not too far future. It's because it's going value of the dollar is decreasing every year. So you could hold pretty much anything that they don't print out of thin air and be a millionaire, you know. Sad truths. What holds some uni currently? If we believe PulseX and PulseChain are the future, are my PRC20 uni tokens going to have a use case on the PulseChain, or would it be wise? A use case? Okay, tell me what the use case of your uni token is on the Ethereum chain. That's what it'll have on the Pulse chain. But to more realistically answer your question, a lot of the functionality of certain coins have to be updated and a new front end has to be created for the Pulse chain for a lot of coins. So some things won't work immediately, but you can always move the coins around unless there's like specific rules on that certain coin. So you can still move your ticker symbol around, but its functionality, if it has any normally, probably won't work until there's a front end set up. Would the S-load cost remain on stakes even after ETH 2.0? I don't know enough about ETH 2.0 for that to be answerable. Ooh, Seek Crypto says, was good. Are you interested in projects other than Rich projects? Have you looked into, I'm not going to say that. What are your thoughts on not going to say that? Are you heard of not going to say that? I'm not going to just shout out random scam coins I haven't researched. Maybe that's the next best thing in the world. Maybe it is. I'm not going to say it though. Not until I know it's good. It's just so expensive. And my hex stake, I'm paying high percent to end stake, then swap, then gas fee. How do I even make cash liquid after all that? Curtis King says. You need more money then. You got to get more cash, make longer stakes. Why are you making short stakes? You know, if you don't make short stakes, it's like yeah, it's cost prohibitive. But on a pulse chain, you can do short stakes. You know, for a penny or something with $1, you'll make you can probably make interest that's worthwhile within a month. You know, for the gas costs. But on Ethereum, it's just not. So you're kind of just I guess you're not liking the fact that you have to pay fees on Ethereum, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. So, yeah, just wait for the Pulse chain or do a really long stake on Ethereum. Do you have any idea if we can swap PulseX for Pulse after launch? Will 10k PulseX equal Pulse? Thanks and keep up the good work. Nabilgo1. Hope I've been speaking into this correctly. I think I did say this earlier, but we will. It's up to whoever provides liquidity and whatever ratio they started at, and then the market decides what ratio is fair, and maybe people value Pulse more than Pulse X. So you could, if you want to get a lot of Pulse X, maybe people are overvaluing Pulse early on, and you can get a really good ratio, maybe like 3 to 1. From Pulse to Pulse X before more money comes in, which is more brains figuring out the market price, like the fair value, faster. And so it's going to be realized over time because markets are smart, because it's built up of millions and billions of people. And so no one knows what the ratio is going to be. If you knew it's like knowing what the price of something will be, like for sure in the future. It's not really possible without like a mega ultra computer that can do anything. And if you could do that, you could do that with anything. So no, I don't know the exact amount you're going to get for that. It's going to be whatever the ratio is. How much y'all sack? Hope you're asking the group, but I'm not going to tell you. What has the most ROI over the next 2 to 3 years? Hex, eHex, Pulse, or PulseX? My guess is PulseX. Okay. PulseChain's pretty cool. Hex is pretty cool. eHex is cool. But PulseX has got something special. PulseX burns a lot. It buys a lot. Tell me one other coin in the Richard Heart ecosystem that has guaranteed buy pressure. I'm waiting. And that's one of the most important things about any crypto, anything that you would want to ever take profit on. If you don't have a buyer, you're holding nothing. You have no value. Okay? If no one wants to buy what you're selling, it's not worth anything. So I had a tweet today about what do you value more, getting more tokens or always having a buyer? And like 30% of people were like, more tokens. And I know the question it doesn't cover every caveat and everything, and people may have thought of it in a different way. But some people think it's better to have more of something that no one wants to buy. That's how I took it. And I just don't think that that's good. I don't think that's a good thing. I'd rather hold something that someone always wants to buy. They're always willing to buy it, no matter the price. And that is what PulseX is. There's always someone who wants to buy it. And who's that someone? The platform itself. And it does that at a huge scale, never seen before, more pairs than ever, more liquidity than anything else we've ever seen. And so it's going to harvest like 21, 22% of every fee on there. And it just uses that to buy PulseX. It might be daily, might be hourly, might be weekly. But that is always going to be there to buy your PulseX. Okay? That's amazing. And it's always constantly buying. It's not just setting limit orders of buying. It's pushing the price up. It's, oh, here comes the bot. Oh, push the price up. People can sell it down. Well, then people can buy this thing that's going to eventually nobody else can holds enough that wants to sell it down. And the price just has to keep going up. Because people also want to buy the thing that other people are valuing or buying. And so not only do you have this extra huge whale, never run out of money buyer, you have everyone else who wants to get in and ride on that guy's back, And so I'm really excited to see how this plays out, because the other DEX that did this was PancakeSwap, but they had such an inflationary model of the token that was being bought up that it canceled out some of the gains. But its gains were insane. It had like 230x in less than 6 months when it was doubling of the coin supply every 2 months. So that's crazy, right? Like that's a lot of inflation. And so that was extra sell pressure potentially. Yeah, I guess if no one sold any inflation or something, then it technically wouldn't hurt the price. But I have to imagine that all of that extra yield people were grabbing, people were more inclined to dump that. And so whenever you don't have all that extra inflation and you're only getting more rare, deflationary, currency that's going up in value because it's being constantly bought up. And it also just goes up in value because now there's less in the market and you own more of it. And so PulseX has this constant buy pressure that nothing else does. And I think that is amazing. Especially whenever it's going to be a huge, huge DEX with lots of volume. That's a lot of buying. And like I said, if we see the growth rate of decentralized exchange around the world grow in the next coming years, like we did in the last year, say it takes twice as long to get the growth we had in the last year. If we have 1/8 of the overall DEX volume, just 1/8 of it in 2 years, it's over $600 million of extra buy pressure a year on the PulseX platform. Just extra, always a buyer, $600 million a year. And it just keeps growing from there, and that's being very conservative in my opinion, with how much growth we're going to have. Anyway, so that's why I think PulseX is pretty good. I'm going to read some more questions here. Great content. Oh, man, it jumped ahead again. Matty Crypto, I see him. Proud of you for your success. Your channel has had K4K. Hard work pays. Thanks, man. Hey, everybody, check out, what is it? The PulseChainPodcast.com. I better double check that, huh? I think it has the in front of it. PulseChainPodcast.com. Okay, it's not that one. Maybe it's just Pulse. Maybe that's not even available. Pulse Chain Podcast? Okay, don't go there. Don't go to that website. But on YouTube, type in the Pulse Chain Podcast. I think the second episode just came out, and it's going to be a weekly podcast, I believe, by Maddie and several different guests throughout the year. And so it would be really cool to look back in a year and see. I was on the first episode with Crypto Heartbeat, and it'll be really cool to see how Maddie goes growing that channel and allowing people to kind of listen, because he also has multiple different just ways you can listen to it with just sound, not just video. And so people can listen to a nice conversation about the Pulse Chain, what's going on, and basically other things about healthy living and stuff like that. If that interests you, check that out. Or you can look for Matty Crypto on Twitter, and just check out the Pulse Chain Podcast. I think it's also a Twitter account. But that was really cool. So thanks for the kind words, Matty Crypto. Sheesh says, if we are in a bear market now, how is Pulse or PulseX going to perform? Well, I think Hex launched in a bear market, and that thing did amazing. So, and we know EOS did a 40x in the bear market from its bottom. And I think this is leagues above and beyond better. Both of these projects are massively better than than any of those other things that ever came out during bear markets. And so it's not even close. I don't think we care what the market is doing. Not in the overall scheme of things. Like, yeah, we might not get 1,000x in a week, like in a bull market or something. Okay, 1,000x is a little overkill. But you know what I mean. People are going to be more conservative with their money. It's going to be less risk on when people, because people, they get panicky and they like to hold on to what they barely have. But hey, what if you were worried about everything going down and then you notice this one coin, three coins, they're all going up. Well, everything else is dying. What the? I mean, I guess I'll buy some of that, Maybe it'll keep going. Oh, it's going up even more. Everything else is still dying. Imagine if that's what our coins do during the bear market. We're just gonna suck up everybody during the bear market. Then when the bull hits and everyone else who gave up on crypto, they come back. Wow, we're gonna crush it in the bull market too. So I could see that happening, depending on how we incentivize the liquidity of these tokens, so that we're more tied to a stable coin or something that's related to the dollar. That way when everything else pulls down, we don't go with it because we're just doing better than the dollar. So, yeah, we could still crush it. We just got to get the incentives right so people are providing liquidity at the right amounts and also in the right pairs. We don't want a huge connection to other cryptos that are sucky, you know. Can you refresh the page? What page? What do you mean? Oh yeah, sure thing, bruh. I thought this doesn't auto update. I'm gonna hide it while I refresh it just in case it does anything. Oh, let's go. Let's go. An extra 2 million. Dude, this is crazy. Richard is a genius. He's allowed anyone in the world to participate in the new foundational structure of basically crypto as like the real crypto. There's no middlemen saying no, you're not allowed to use your money that way. That's against your rights. Why is someone allowed to tell you how you can spend your money you worked for? Why? Who? What? No. That's not free market. You can't tell me what I can spend my money on. And so I love that Richard is fighting for us, fighting for our rights. Like no one else is speaking truth to power, and except for that guy that I know of. He's out there constantly talking about it, how this is gross, this is terrible, and I don't see anybody else doing that. I mean, I don't watch that much other stuff, but Richard's doing it, and I like him, and he's making projects that allow people to get in and practice their human rights. It's like it feels good to just do what you want. Doesn't it feel good in crypto when you're just like, you know what? I want this thing. There's no, I want this thing. Oh, fill out this paperwork, sir, and we'll get back to you in up declined. What? No. This is one of the major reasons I got into crypto in the first place was I was learning about Bitcoin. I was like, wow, so people really do have like real control over their money. You know, it was a little more elementary understanding of everything. But even just when that clicked, I was just like, wow, I have so much like real control over my money. And when I went to the bank and I was like, hey, I'd like to, wire this money of mine to this establishment so that I can buy crypto. And they're like, well, first off, I didn't tell them what it was for because I read online that don't really tell them unless they ask or something because they might just say no because of that. And which I thought was like, well, that's weird. Why do they care? And then they ask you and they're like, what's this for? Do you know who this is? Like, do you and they almost didn't let me because back then it was a little more new, I guess. And so they really almost just didn't even let me use my money how I wanted. So I might have never been able to get in early if the bank just said no. And I just think that's gross that anyone can just say no to how you spend your money. So I was so happy to get into Bitcoin that day. And then I got into altcoins and all this stuff in 2017. And then Richard, he came along and he was just saying all the truth things. Like he's 2 years ahead of everybody else in crypto. All the Bitcoin people, like Michael Saylor, who else we got? Like Robert Breedlove. Really, they're brilliant people, brilliant businessmen. They understand money should be more like this, and like this is the upgrade in money. But they think it's just Bitcoin. Bitcoin can't do everything. And Bitcoin barely does what it does well, And they talk about how Bitcoin's had no issues and it's perfect, it's the best money, there's no crypto, it's just Bitcoin. And it's like, and Richard just tells you, oh, they rolled the chain back in like 2010. Okay, well, you don't talk about that. All right, they also had this other inflation bug that almost got utilized, and they barely found it by a Bitcoin Cash developer. And you're just like, yeah, these are huge risks and things that have been potentially exploited already. And you have to wait 10 minutes for a transaction, sometimes hours. And you have to wait multiple confirmations if you want to make sure you're not on an orphan block and you actually you're on the right chain. And so we have, like, crypto itself allows you to do so, like, you can make a better money tomorrow. Like, it's just verifiably better because the only thing that doesn't carry over, because now that we have like 5 of the 6 main best properties of money. The sixth one is like acceptability. Do people care about it? And so you do need to have people to care about it. And so we have that attribute in community, so that like that's actually, yeah, this is pretty amazing stuff. So acceptability. So you need a community of people who believe in its value, or it doesn't matter what properties it has. Now, the market naturally prefers things that have these top five attributes of money. And so, but you still need people to accept it. Now, the fact that you can change money now and have it verifiably better money by changing some parameters and launching a new contract, now that we have the community aspect, we can all jump ship to the new one. And now we have the better money. Even though that other one we just had was really good. It had really good, well thought out stuff, and it works really good. And it'll still have value because it does have all those properties of money. But now we have the community aspect where we're all basically able to just keep jumping to the best way to store your wealth. And we can just constantly keep doing that and continuing to build value. And so that is super cool. It's something only like the Hex community really has, because we have Richard and his team constantly building out awesome stuff. And there are people in the community who are building other projects. We have yet to see one play out well. But if they ever do release something, that's also something we can participate in if we so choose, because we have human rights in the crypto world. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get to some more stuff. Anyway, thanks, Matty Crypto. Nick B says, I'm in on PulseX, 5K, first time investor, future billionaire. All right. The market cap is actually accurate because it's how much was sacrificed, different from other market caps. Yeah, it's mathematically correct. Does not affect how high the price can go. All right, if we are in a bear market now, how is the pulse? Oh, I already read that one. Refresh the page. Thanks, answer. Made two-year stake, 500 stake for 500. Hopefully fees go down. You better hope, dude. Those things are going to be costly. Proud of you for the success of your channel. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. How do you recommend we keep up our crypto safe? Have you done any videos on wallet security? I did like a simple one on a cheap way to imprint your seed words into metal and store it in a very small space. But it's not everything. There's tons of thousands of videos about that. I just saw people spending like $80 to get this 2 plates. It allows you to make basically only two 12-word ones, and it's $80 per, and if you want more, you have to pay another $80. In my setup, you pay maybe $45, and you can make up to 6 or 7 of these little things where you can imprint. And then if you ever want to make even more, like say you want to make 10 more, you only pay $10 for the washers, as opposed to having to buy the whole set again. Most of the cost is from buying the imprint stuff, and most people already have a hammer, and you don't have to buy the chisel stuff again because you can just reuse it. So yeah, it's much more scalable, and you can make a lot more for less. So, and it's free. Well, free information I gave you, but yeah, I recommend if you have seed words, put them in metal. If you ever have a fire or water damage or something, if you have it in paper and it's in ink, you lost the game. So yeah, metal, good. Also important to, well, I won't get into it because it could go forever. There's so many different things you can do, but the majority of people are safe from real hacks. Just don't ever store it digitally. You're 99.9% chance never going to get affected by anything. Right. Like even in a password manager, I wouldn't recommend because they get exploited every once in a while. I think LastPass just had an exploit or a 0-day type of thing. I don't know if people were able to get in and read the stuff, but it was able to give like false messages or something like that to people, and maybe they go to some wrong thing and give up their password, and then the people are in, and if your seed words are there, you lost it, you know. We're going back to personal responsibility and control over your wealth and not a third party. Like back in the day, thousands of years ago, you would store your wealth in a hidden location, and or you would give it to a counterparty eventually. Like people would in the free market would create these storehouses where you could deploy your gold, because the free market chose gold as the best money because it was the most rare and it had all the other properties of good money. And then they would give you receipts for your gold, and other people would as well. They'd all store it in the one spot because it was more efficient to trade receipts than transacting in gold at every transaction, because you have to weigh it, you have to make sure it's not fake. It's also heavy, it's very heavy. And so that's kind of how money developed over time. But it's bad whenever someone controls all of the wealth, basically. And now that, oh, I don't want to get into it. Anyway, what do I think about this protocol on PulseChain? It seems that it'd be a good way to avoid selling and take profits and avoid the tax man. Hmm. I haven't looked into that protocol the full way. It's just that it's one of those things where if you have three or four already amazing options from a team you know has delivered, why would you go and risk it on this other stuff that you don't know the team's delivery success rate? I'm gonna go with the one that's already won. They've already earned my respect. So I'm I'm wary about other projects, as none of them other than Richard Heart projects have succeeded or helped anyone in the past. If someone breaks that mold, that's great. Now here's one thing about that loan protocol. If it works out and it's amazing for price appreciation of Pulse, just hold Pulse. You get to benefit from that protocol without any of the risk. You get to hold the asset, and everyone it appreciates because of that function of that protocol. So you can take no risk and take all the benefit. So I don't see the need to risk money in that, you know. Plus, if you're holding this for a long time, do you really need to take loans out? I don't know. It's like if you want to lever up, everyone's used to leveraging up in this world, and I don't know. It's just not necessary in my opinion. Especially like because there's already so much gains in this ecosystem, like multiple X. You need multiple X on your multiple X? I don't know. Not if there's, I don't know. I just don't like the extra risk. I don't think it's necessary. That's all. Every YouTuber should have history of fiat and why BTC was invented. Hmm. Do you understand correctly? If in the future PulseX will be worth $1, then with an investment of 100 today, I will have theoretically $1 million. Yep, that is mathematically correct. Wait, is it? I think maybe. Okay, if that's correct, then yeah, I think that's what happened with Hex. Did a 10? That's what happens when you do a 10,000x. You put in $100, you get $1 million. That's what we do. We do 10,000 X's around here. And it's actually bought off the market. Well said, sir. Bull market is over. All right. What's up, K for K? Cookies and crypto. That's a cool name. I like it. Now I want cookies and cream. What are your potential strategies for when you get PulseX, Hex, and Pulse? Do you have a favorite? PulseX is my favorite. Hex has already shown me how well it can perform. I expect it to keep doing that. And Pulse is going to be the best base layer chain, in my opinion. So I'm holding all three. I'm not like a super gambler who goes trying to max everything. I try to do the best I can, and I think the best you can do is realize you don't know everything, and then spread your risk among the best things you know of. So I hold some of each. Explain guaranteed buy pressure. Guaranteed if there's volume. Yes, that's true. If you think there's zero volume going to be on PulseX, then you're just saying you don't think the Pulse chain is going to succeed. What are you even doing here? You know, if it if you think Pulse is better because PulseX is going to have zero volume, if PulseX has zero volume, then Pulse chain has failed entirely. And so Pulse would do terrible as well. So I'm not sure what you're getting at there. I guess you like the semantics. Love your content. Great idea on supporting Hex content creators. I'm one. Crypto7. Hey, yeah, I've seen you, man. Are you Aussie? Because I know you have some sort of accent, and you've talked with Adam Stokes a few times. Adam Stokes has some really good content, and same with you too, Crypto7. Much appreciated all the work you do. What do you think about Trayvon saying in his video that Richard made Pulse and PulseX just to boost up Hex? Just to boost up Hex. I don't think that's true. I think Richard, I mean, these are all just theories, but I think Richard, he started with something that he thought would work really well. And then once you have something that does well and you've proven yourself, you can do the more, what's the word? Not heroic. What's the freaking word? You can do something that's more out there, more risky, more grandiose, we'll say. And people will be behind you more likely whenever you've already proven yourself. And so I think if he would have started with, hey, I'm going to do Pulse Chain before any Hex business or something like that. And also there was no need for this back in the day. So that's another big reason of why he didn't just do Pulse Chain first instead of Hex, is because it wasn't necessary back then. Ethereum was a penny descended transaction. Ethereum got worse. Then he's like, I'm forking it. It's where he's filling a want that hasn't been filled by anything else. So he's an entrepreneur. He sees, okay, people want cheaper fees and a better network. How can I do that in a better way than has ever been done before? And he thought of it. And then you're like, well, people want to be able to trade on this network as well. It's kind of important. And how do we incentivize everyone to come over here and start trading here instead? You better have a good DEX. And so I think it just logically led down this path of, well, I have the track record. We have the funding. We have the interest. We have the need. And I'm going to deliver it. And so he's delivering it. It's not, he wasn't like, what do I build to get price of Hex to go up? I don't think that's where he starts thinking. I think he just has that entrepreneurial mindset of how can I help the most people and provide the most value, and that's what he's doing. He's creating value in the world. Everyone in this ecosystem has gained value through Richard's efforts. I think he deserves everything he gets out of this system. All right. Love your content. Great idea on supporting Hex content. Oh, yeah, I wrote that one. Real one. Trevon has off the wall theories. Trevon's pretty funny. I bet he's a super cool guy to hang out with. Would it be in the code in GitLab for PulseX when you buy and burn would occur? No. It's. I mean, I don't like to. I was really happy whenever I thought it was gonna be completely automatic. Like I thought they figured out the code of we can have it so it's a public function and people can run it, and I thought that would work, but it turns out the routing is the reason it can't work, because he thought routing was on chain, but it's actually off chain, and so people can do these evil routes where it sucks up all the buyback pressure and it doesn't actually move the price much. So by front running and sandwich attacks. And so we found out it's just not possible unless you have to have, it has to be dynamic enough that it can't be exploited. until we figure out a better way to make it automatic so it's unexploitable. Because once you deploy something that's immutable, you better hope it's not permanently exploitable by everyone in the system. So I'd rather them have the ability to do it manually than either not have it at all or having a permanently exploitable one. So we can always update it in the future when the technology gets better. Basically, blockchain tech has to get better before we could do on-chain routing, which would make it work. And so, yeah, so we're just waiting. But if we already trust, Richard enough to give us any tokens at all for free, I don't see him using the manual function to harm the system that he owns a large portion of, that he founded. It's already in his best interest to see it thrive, so he's going to do what's best for the whole system and himself, because that is what's best for himself. If the whole system thrives, then he does better, so it's going to be good. It's going to be fine. Alright, watch him just make wrong assumptions. Oh yeah, you watched Trayvon to watch him make wrong assumptions. That's funny. Okay, exactly. PulseX at some... Oh my gosh, why did the text go there? Alright. Ooh, you know what's great? Since it highlights people's messages on here, I can see it easier if you do at K for K. I'll try to only read those. That way other people just talking, I don't have to read through that. If you want me to read it out loud, put at K for K, crypto, with a space, and then I'll be able to see it easier, and I'll try to read all those. There's just so much text here. I'm so glad you guys are all here. I wish I could see I see T-Bird. There's a lot of familiar faces here. Your last video was fire. Thank you. Are you Luke Rockhold's son? I don't know if did I say something funny there? I don't know what that means. Community funding, reputation now. We just need a product and we are off to the races. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Crypto is just better money. It's like money was supposed to be. It's basically a reflection of the value you've put out into the world. And everyone doesn't understand that nowadays because they've grown up in the system where inflation is just this thing that happens and the money I earn is worth less every day. That's not what money is supposed to be. That's just what we've grown up in. It's like you grew up. What's that term where you grew up in, like, what is it? Stockholm syndrome, where you fall in love with your captor because you've never known anything else. It's something like that. And so money was supposed to be this perfect representation, if possible, of how much value you've added to the world. But it's not that whenever someone can just go and create the actual money. Money is like, it's supposed to be the best apex good to work for because it's tradable for everything else. And so everyone would work to get that money. But when someone can just create the money, which isn't creating value in the world, it distorts the whole money principle. And crypto makes undistortable money. So no one can come in and change, like when Pulse launches, no one can come in and go, there's actually going to be twice as much Pulse supply now. I just created it. No one can do that. It's literally impossible. And any sort of someone who, even if there was a bug in an inflation and someone got some, you just fork it. That person has no coins, no value. Boom. And then you can move on after the patch or something like that. So it's just better money overall. And so the sooner we get to this, everyone having a crypto wallet, the more freedom every human in the world will have. You won't be stuck losing your value from your money that you earned anymore because no one can just dilute you on a whim. So I hope some of this is coming through to you guys. I'm kind of speaking from my understandings and how it makes sense to me. So if I'm missing some starting Like if you don't have the knowledge from the stuff I've seen and read, maybe it doesn't make sense, but that's how I see the mechanics of the Federal Reserve printing affecting everyone else's dollars. It's stealing your value away, which isn't normal. Government doesn't isn't supposed to have control over money. It's a monopoly. Whew, getting into it. All right. We talk 10,000x, but most will sell at 20 to 50x. Probably true, as people are scared that time is ticking before the full bear market kicks in, unless your chart projects will just outperform in bear trend. How cool would that be if we just crush it in the bear? No bear for hexagons. Trayvon also thinks Richard Hart is customer service and technical support for Hex. Trayvon is a valuable character in the crypto space, but unemotional and unbiased facts are not where his value lies. Yeah, he's an entertainer. He can definitely get away with saying he's not a financial advisor and it's just for entertainment. I believe it. You got TA skills, dude. I don't understand. I won't get into TA. It's fun to look at a chart and stuff, and you can kind of see trends and you can do stuff. But if you're not trying to sell so soon, whenever you're holding like an amazing asset, I don't think you're doing yourself a good service there. Because if you want to spend a lot of time on that stuff, you could have spent your time improving the world and adding value to other people, and then you would just have more money, and then you can do stuff with that money to help the world even more, you know? So instead of, I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't spend a lot of time on it. I do look at the chart every once in a while if I'm deciding, am I going to get in this day or this day for when I start, but yeah, I probably will never do like a TA stream. Are you guys excited about the second day of the Hex conference? Don't forget to check that out. Starts in 1 hour. Price to move pulse is a cent, and a cent is 100 pulse. Wouldn't that excuse most ETH holders from moving PRC20s? They would have to buy pulse to move coins. Oh, the price to move is a cent. A cent is 100. Yeah, I mean, I guess if it costs that much pulse to send a transaction, then they would have to buy pulse. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to cost that much pulse. Like you should be able to send a lot of transactions with very little pulse. So that's one of the things is you don't actually need that much. Oh, here's some K for Ks. Ooh, yeah. All right. Sweet people got to that. Sorry, everybody, that I did not get to. I'm going to read all these K for K ones, though. K for K, my quest. Do I understand correctly? If in the... This is OM row. If in the future PulseX will be worth $1, then with investment... I've already read that one. How's that happening? Anyway, droning on again and again. He says... K for K Crypto. Kids sack now lol. Alright, glad you said that. Kids sack now. Not sure what you mean by that. Renab Kid. Okay, okay, didn't say anything. Okay, do you think Pulse will outperform BTC in 5 to 10 years? Pulse. I think pretty much, let's see. The best thing BTC has going for it is it has a larger network of people advocating for it. Like there's more people who know about Bitcoin than altcoins. And you do want that network effect for your own stuff because that's how you get more money into the system. It's how you get more gains. Because there is a speculative nature to all this stuff. Even though it's just new money, people pour into it and it increases in value. And so you have more value. And so people look at it as like a speculative purchase to increase money, or increase your buying power. 5 to 10 years, yeah, like I think Hex will even do that too. Uh, like we said, it's just we can create better money so quickly, and you just move your community to the next best money. And as we get a larger and larger community over time, we have more economic mass and ability to add value to this new currency that's better. And then more and more people join. We just get this bigger snowball effect. So yeah, 5 to 10 years, we outperform BTC. I'd say yeah. Bro, y'all be hating Trayvon when he's new about Hex, many of us. Okay, let's talk about the huge token supply. The token supply will be like just as large. Well, we depends on the sacrifice of the OA. But what a lot of new people don't understand is that what matters to you and your buying pressure is how much of the total supply you own. It doesn't matter what the token price is. It's how many and how much of the percent you own. Like what is the difference between you owning one of 100? We'll say 10 of 100. So you own 10% versus owning 1,000 of 10,000. You have the same amount of the supply. And so it doesn't matter that, oh, there's 10,000 of them, so the market cap's higher or whatever, or the price is higher. It doesn't matter. It matters how much you own of the coins. And so I like holding coins where the amount of available coins are only going down. They're deflationary. And so Bitcoin's not deflationary. It's constantly inflating every day. So they actually need more buyers because they're constantly being sold down by the miners, and the amount of total supply is going up every day. As opposed to us, our total supply is a starting fixed amount and only goes down. So the value of our money should go up more easily. Man, have you any thoughts on the wallet, multi-chain, EVM-based, fiat gateway, incorporated? I mean, Richard has lots of plans for building stuff out in the future, including pretty much everything you said there. And yeah, I'm excited for it, but we need minimum viable project first, or product. I hope the OA does not participate in the PulseX sacrifice, since it kinda undermines the concept voting if someone has a majority. I do agree with that. It is interesting because when you have like this benevolent person who has in if incentives are aligned, they will do what's best for the network growth and the growth of the platform PulseX. And so if they need to step in, they can, and they can get stuff back on track. I think that's good. They can't arbitrarily like devalue, like debase the currency that we're using. They can only do that to the inflationary token, which PulseX holders get to vote on. And who knows? Maybe the OA will never vote or something like that. But yeah, it is interesting because a lot of that centralized amount of power can be corrupting. But as we've seen so far, their incentives are aligned with making sure the platform and the ecosystem work as best they can. And so why would they shoot their own stuff in the foot just for like a quick buck when this is like a long-term strategy? So I don't think it matters short and mid-term. Maybe long term, it could have repercussions. But I'm fine doing well in the short, medium term because that is where incentives are aligned. And I think Richard does have the best intentions at heart, mind the pun, for humanity in general and all of us. Yeah, so it is something to think about in the future. Are you a Mensa mem? No. Over 95% of the supply will not be for sale by the OA. So do your own. Yep. You're good. Oh, he's talking about someone else. Russ Camburn says, "Can you repost link to the spreadsheet? I missed it. Oh, did it really get disappeared? Go to the Pulse, like t.me/Pulse theory, and the spreadsheet is one of the pinned messages. It's like one of the first things I put in there. It's going to be recorded so I can watch it later. It will be Nunez. Gov and dollars, the most unholy of unions. Right. You don't want any party. Like, even if it, I mean, it gets so cloudy and muddy talking about it, but the central bank isn't actually a government agency. Like the Federal Reserve, there's nothing federal about it, and there is no reserve. So, the central bank is actually like a private party who gets to decide how much value they extract from the working humans. It's pretty terrible. So, oh my, the mega drop. What do we got here? I'm gonna look for the K for Ks. What do you think of Lit's Twitter celeb contact idea? I did talk about that earlier. I think it's amazing, and we should definitely do that. Just so you know, Richard was in the chat and commented. No, we didn't. Probably fake Richard. Can you repost link to spreadsheet? Oh, I did that one. Go. Oh, did that. How do I? Am I able to look through chat to see like Control F? I should really figure this streaming stuff out. Okay. We got, are you interested in any other crypto projects? Do you see any ERC20 copies in particular having value on Pulse? Any ERC20 copies in particular having any value on Pulse? Maybe if Chainlink comes over, like they do use oracles. I don't. If you don't have to use oracles, I prefer not to, because like Richard has shown, and if you were in that one talk the other night, he kind of slayed the guy talking about Chainlink, and the guy was like, "Oh no, they can't give wrong price data or they get in trouble." And Richard's like, that's not true. I'm sure you believe it. It's not true. Because I thought they got slashed too, and they don't. You go and read about it, and it's like, yeah, we don't punish these people. But so people get paid to lie with oracles and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care about other crypto projects, to be quite honest, until they've proven themselves. Like, there's no reason to keep spreading your risk around when you've already got a mega winner. Don't overthink it. Just buy Hex and Sack for PulseX and enjoy the magic carpet ride. Otherwise, by the time you realize WTF, you be buying higher and having regrets. Hex Hodl knows what's up. All right, we got 10,000 X from 20 cents to 2K Hex. We will easily hit 2K on both chains within the next 3 to 4 years. Yeah, most likely. I'm spot on with inflation. Thanks, Jeff Stacks. Can you stake eHex on Pulse? I don't think so. Just Pulse version you can over there. You can trade your eHex over there for stuff, but you probably can't stake it over there. Although wrap stakes are interesting. I made a video on that. Everyone should go watch that if you want to know what's in store for wrap stakes. I think I had pretty good takes on it that no one else has talked about. But no one really cares about wrapped hex whenever all these brand new coins are coming out that are base layer and super buying up all the supply coins. So I understand, but I thought it was interesting. Okay. Hey, if anyone knows what Richard said in the chat, that'd be cool. If that guy was just trolling, then I got, I guess. Hex 10,000X is a small start. I can't think of a single asset with product market fit that's topped out ever. Yeah. I also agree with you. T-board, yep. What do you think of Lit? I already did that one? Yep. Trying to look to see if I have any names in here I recognize. I know I missed so much chat, guys. I'm really sorry if I missed your questions. I want to be able to answer everybody. It's just there's so much. So if you want me to read what you have to say, just put at K4K Crypto at the start, and I should be able to see it more easily. It lights up. Do you think that there is merit to when PulseX launches, it would be good to use the DAO to reward some of the bad coins to get volume in the DEX up. Of what? I don't think we're gonna. I mean, it depends what you mean by the bad coins. If you mean like if they have tons of volume and lots of users, we probably may incentivize those coins, you know. But if it's like a terrible, terrible coin and barely any users, then maybe not. You know, we would like their volume because we're technically siphoning some of their potential buy and hold pressure to buy PulseX only. So, yeah, it would help our ecosystem. So that is going to be a lot of crazy game theory to figure out what are the appropriate best levels of inflation to give these different pools and who gets it. That's very interesting stuff. We'll have to brainstorm on that. If you have any ideas, join the t.me/pulse theory. It's only for people who understand a lot of stuff already. It's not for the super new people. So you're allowed to read everything in there and check out the links. But yeah. And if you want to, if anybody here is interested in understanding the like a nice comprehensive breakdown, better than I did, version, check out t.me. This is like a breakdown on inflation, and understanding the actual system we're all currently living in. And if you want to stop being, if you want to fully understand it, and trying to, what's that word? Disillusionment. You don't want to live your whole life, you know, disillusioned. So check out t.me/K4K calls. It's just a channel. No one's allowed to talk in it. I just put out the best content for understanding certain stuff, kind of like the raw details of stuff I've used to further my understanding. And it is so important that you guys watch this stuff. I tried to condense some of the knowledge in it down into my videos for you guys, but if some people have been doing this for like they've understood this stuff for some time, more so than me, and so they can really explain it well, and it'll unlock your mind even more. And then you realize how important crypto is for everyone. So I would recommend people check that out and watch those videos that are in there. All right. What are your number of X predictions on chart products over the next year or two? The number of X. Oh man. I don't know if I should answer these questions because everyone just they want to know what the price will be. Well, let me check my super watch. Um I don't know. I don't spend my time thinking about that. I just know it's going to do better than holding cash, and it's going to do better than holding any other asset. So, what's the best any other asset could do? I guess it'd be higher than that. So I guess we'll say it's going to be several hundred X, is my opinion. And if anyone gets upset that I didn't say 10,000X, I don't know what. Well, you must be spoiled then. Imagine being upset over 100X in a year or two. K4K, are we going to receive the PulseX token that we sack for it? I mean, you may, if someone is generous and wants to give you some. If you sacrificed, you might get some. Can you vote in DAO if you only hold PulseX, or do you have to be a liquidity provider? You just have to hold PulseX, and then you get to dole out the inflation of this other token, which doesn't have a name yet, and that's going to be given to different pools, depending on what the voters decide. Oh, why is it doing that? Papa Booner. Oh, we got a couple more here. Oh my, it jumped down a lot. Yeah, okay, we got a lot of questions. Do you think that there's... Okay, we saw that. Yeah. Hey, I want to know where everyone's from. You know, I want people to say what country they're from, because this is a global community. Like, we are all in this together. We as humans want the best for the world and everyone in it. And so I think crypto is a way for everyone to get there. And it's not just because you get filthy rich. So we're so early, so we probably are going to get filthy rich. But you're actually helping free everyone you know by telling them about crypto and getting them involved because they're actually owning their time and money again. And time and money are kind of one and the same in a uncorrupt system. So you're giving people their time back, you're giving them a better future, more of a future. Because imagine, what does it mean if you take someone's life away? You take away their future. You take away their future, then they have they have nothing to live for. And so whenever you're taxing or thieving and taking someone's money away, which is how they save time during their life, if you're taking their value away in a little sneaky way where you're not actually taking their dollars like away, but you're taking away its buying power, which is what people care about having dollars for. It's for what they can buy with it. They don't actually want dollars, they just want what they can buy with it. And so when you take that away, you're taking away people's time and energy. And I think that's terrible for the world. And so crypto, it's not like that. No one has control to dilute everyone else and remove their buying power that they worked for. So I think everyone deserves their fair share, and I think crypto is the fairest game for money we've ever had, and I think it's a good bet to bet on Richard Hart's team. He's really good at game theory, which basically just means he understands humans very well, and he understands what's a good way to provide value to people, and so he makes money providing value to people. Okay, so I don't understand people who demonize him. They maybe read one article and they didn't, like someone just smear campaigned him. And no matter what you do on the internet, someone is going to hate you, and some of them maybe write an article. Maybe they have nothing else to do with their lives. It's very sad that some people do that without doing real research. They just have this motive. But anyway, don't get lost in the FUD about Richard Hart. The guy's amazing. I don't want to spread yeah, I won't say that. I know there's some really cool background stories you can read about Richard on the internet if you know how to use the internet well. And so when you realize what he's went through and what barriers he's had to put up with and just terrible situations he's been in, he dives into it a little bit in his most recent Link Up interview. But yeah, that guy, he pushes through everything and he makes the world a better place. So I want to join him on that quest. And I want everyone else to as well. California, Hexakin, what's up? Brisbane, Australia. K4K, Houston, Texas. That's what's up. That's awesome. I love this community. You guys are the best. Like, you guys are the freaking best. We're all helping other people. Anyone you get into crypto, you've probably saved so much of their lifetime. It's awesome. That's why I feel like the best thing I can do with my current skill set is to help other people get into crypto and help them understand it so that they can make the best decision of their life, in my opinion. What would you do, or what would you ask Richard Hart if he was here? I mean, if he was here in the public, I don't know, I'd ask him a different question than if we were in private. I'm very curious like, how far ahead has he thought for all this stuff? I would love to know the end game, you know? Because I think he's setting up that, I don't know if he knows it, maybe he does. He's setting up this base layer infrastructure for almost like a new economy in the whole world, where everyone actually has human rights. You can trade with whoever you want, no AML, no KYC, low fees, which are dissipative to trading. Like you don't want high fees or transaction costs because then you do less trading. We don't want that. That slows down innovation. And so he's speeding up innovation. He's making the world a better place faster, allowing it to be. Like if we just only had Ethereum, well, less people would get into crypto because it's cost prohibitive. You're like, hey, buy Hex, $70 to get in though. It's not ideal. And so he's allowing the world to progress faster and faster. And so I give him super mad props for that. Good job, Richard. So, question, he says he doesn't do anything for his hair. I think he just uses water. So I don't know. Not really sure what tips I would ask or anything. I would probably ask him if I ask him what book to read, he would just say his book, which I have read. But I have read some of the other book suggestions he has, and like Balthazar Gracian's Art of Worldly Wisdom. That thing is just like super knowledge. You have to like decipher it. It's like old English. Oh, it's so fun to read though, and every time you read one, you're just like, yeah, that's true, and it has such great knowledge in it. So yeah, I'd probably ask him what his next best book after that one would be. The OA is double-edged sword. It's very much acquired IMO, but may hamper some adoption. Hence, not worried about that. Most people I tell about crypto, they don't need to know every detail about the crypto. I just kind of explain money to them and how this is better money, and they're like, yeah, I'd like to store my wealth there. They don't need to know all the secret details. It's not their secret details. Richard's, like I said earlier, he's 2 years ahead of every other crypto guy. He already built out Hex, it's a better Bitcoin. Okay, he built it out. He told everyone he was going to build it like 2 years ago in Malta, and so he's already had the time to think about it, think about the concept. Okay, how do I make something better than Bitcoin? Okay, he thinks about it, figures it out, then implements it, gets it developed, launches it. It's a success for over 2 years. So I guess he's like 3 or 4 years ahead of these people, and so he's already proven it. He took an idea, he put it down into the real world, realized it. It completely blew everyone's minds away. He was right. Everyone else was wrong. Okay. I think he's right about the centralized ownership thing being the best way to move a project forward and make headway in crypto. Like if you are too decentralized and no one has incentive to work on it, like everyone who has ever worked on Bitcoin is like they just go build their own coin or they work on some other side thing where they can make money on it. They get some return. You have to align incentives. And so the Hex projects incentives are all aligned. Everyone who's working on the project the most, they do the most work. We're not expecting any profit from that, but they have the most incentive to make everything as awesome as possible. So like even Vitalik, he doesn't own a huge portion of the ETH supply, and so he has not as much drive to like push stuff out. And he has they have the foundation and stuff like that, and who knows what type of politics go on in that. And so they're bulky. They got like a bulky governance system or whatever they're figuring out over there. It's really bulky. And Richard's team is more agile. They're able to adapt to new stuff coming out and figure out what's the best way forward without having to consult like multiple early investors or something like that. It's up to them. And so they can actually freaking like crush it, push awesome stuff out faster and develop in this super fast innovating what is it called, sector. And so we're just freaking like Omega crushing it. That's why. So yeah, I think Richard figured out the best way to run a cryptocurrency, because it does kind of go against your natural thought of what's fair, but I think that's more so for people they think they deserve more for doing less without doing any of the work. And so, yes, you will get less than someone who does more work than you. I think that's just a fundamental thing people need to understand about life. Like, you don't deserve as much as everyone else just because you exist. You deserve, like, it's survival of the fittest, and that's how we got here, You get what you put out into the world, you get it back, okay? If you're putting nothing out there and you're just taking, you don't deserve as much as the guy who's helping everyone else in the world succeed, And I think that's fair. And I think that's totally fair. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but all right. Can't wait to see how much the OA will sack PulseX. I'm assuming if they're trying to keep the portions the same, like we'll see how much total USD will have sacked. If it's the exact same amount, like this is what I mean by it. If we have exactly like 670 million, like last time, I think the OA will do 13 or so billion again, just to keep. Uh, I think they have this plan. I haven't figured it out yet, but of how much of the supply is necessary to work well, for whatever their overall plan is. So I think they would do the exact same amount, and so I think they're going to try and keep that ratio. So if there's only 500 million, they would do less than 13 billion, maybe like 10 billion or something to keep the ratio the same. Because people were like, "Oh, they're gonna take the OA is gonna take the sacrifice amount from last time and add it and do another. It's gonna be 26 billion." No, what? Why would they? I don't. I mean, maybe, but why would they do that? They could have. It's not that they didn't have enough billions last time, and that was the max they could have. They could have done like $100 billion worth if they wanted, and so they're picking a specific ratio on purpose. So I don't know the exact math on that. Maybe that's just what they they think is fair, because they could technically get like you put in like 200 billion or whatever billions the max you can do, and then own 99% of the supply, But I think they have a plan, and I don't think their plan is to own 99%. I don't know. It seems Richard was in the chat. Why are people saying that? Did he say anything? Probably missed it. K4K, have you looked into Hedron? No. I don't trust stuff that Richard didn't build. What do you think about... I'm not going to say that. Richard said to keep up the good work. Ah, thanks, man. What up, Richie? What's up? He says good work. Thanks, man. Right. Thanks, man. Big shout out to you from New Zealand. Yeah, what's up? Dude, I want to travel the world one day. I got to go everywhere. I would love to talk to someone from every country in the world. Like in person and just learn the culture. That'd be so fun. Maybe not everywhere. Maybe I'll avoid Panama, People getting robbed down there. All right, what are your number of X predictions for Richard Hart projects over the next year or two? What? Okay, I'm not answering that one again. How are people going to receive the PulseX token that we sacked for it? It will just appear in your... You'll be able to access it from your MetaMask. You just change chains in the settings, and you're on PulseChain network, and your stuff will be there. That's it. That's all you gotta do. How cool is that? There's no claim or anything like that. You just get it. Can you vote in DAO if you only hold PulseX, or do you have to... Oh my, did I go backwards in time? I already answered that one. Some people argue that PulseX is quite overvalued. Guys, what? Most people don't... Before I came on the scene, everyone thought PulseX was Richard's third-tier project, okay? No one looked into the buy function or anything like that. And before that information even came out, I was just looking at how these dexes have performed, and they haven't been around that long, and they've still performed extremely well. So even like the worst ones crush it. And ours is going to be the best one. So there's a huge opportunity in getting in on a DEX that buys itself from the usage of the network, like the usage on the platform, I should say. Because we haven't seen what this growth, like, there's so much extra buying pressure. It's just you just add an extra buyer to the market that has infinite money. So I just think that's good for price. And I don't know. Of course, Pulse is awesome and you need it for transactions. And so people will, hold it and hoard it, and that you can delegate it. People like to be able to do something with their asset rather than Okay, I'm holding PulseX. I wish I could do something with it. I'm sure there's going to be contracts and other stuff that people put out there where you can deposit your PulseX and earn yield with it and their stuff. So you could make it more useful to you. But I don't think Richard has any plans for that as of yet. It may be used in the future. That's the thing, is there's all these potential use cases for some of this stuff in the future by using stuff as collateral and stuff like that. So it's not like, oh, it can't do anything ever. It's programmable money, guys. You can do whatever your mind comes up with. We're actually talking to, well, I won't reveal that yet, but there's lots of stuff in the works of coming up with new ideas, new crypto. I don't think PulseX is overvalued, to answer your question. Somehow I'm caught up, but I definitely didn't read every message. I feel terrible. I bet 40% of this chat sells 25% or more of their sacrifice bag within the first 2 years. Maybe. Hey, if if PulseX does a million X or something, like if it does something like that, wouldn't you sell some? You gotta, live a little bit. I don't know. It's one of those things like you get to a certain point, you're like, all right, I better take some of this out. No. So, yeah. Has anyone mindset channel? I'll try and let's see if I can zoom up here and maybe I'll catch some people who feel like they got missed out on. Oh, it literally deletes the chat. Okay. All right. We're at the bottom. What will happen to PulseX once more dexes are built on PulseChain? Hey, that's not a bad question. Well, there's this thing. How do you say that? Like we have such an advantage of like being the first mover with the most liquidity. Anyone else who shows up there, they better have an insane incentive program or something to entice people to put their liquidity there as opposed to the highly huge volume exchange over at PulseX with lots of liquidity. Because traders and people who want to buy or sell things don't want to go to an exchange where they're getting 50% slippage because there's no liquidity there. And so you have to entice liquidity providers and entice buyers. Like you're never going to at the same time. And so before you have one, you can't get the other. It's like the chicken and the egg. Like eBay, like trying to build another eBay is like impossible because eBay already exists and is pretty good. And if you build another one, how are you going to entice people to sell there when there's no buyers yet? And how are you going to entice buyers to go there when there's no sellers yet? And so since we immediately have buyers and sellers immediately in a huge amount, no one's going to be able to overtake that, in my opinion. Good luck. What do you think about PulseChain MetaMask version? Yeah, maybe someone will come up with a better MetaMask. That'd be cool. I don't know about anything else about it. Bet we do and it all is up. Nope. Alright. I'm not scared to take some profits. It's part of the game. Yeah, just definitely it's one of those things where do you guys got like do you believe in this stuff? Do you have to really believe. Like you gotta have some faith up in here about this stuff working out, or you're never gonna be able to hold on to these gains. Like these these gains. No financial advice here, but like those guys who got into Ethereum at 30 cents or less, you know, they making 10x your money for anyone is like that's pretty good. Like, do I pull everything out? There's no way it can go higher than 10x. Like 10x is huge, but there's so much dollars in the world now, guys. There's so much just money out there that you wouldn't believe it. Trillions, trillions, trillions of dollars. They've printed like 5 trillion 2 years in a row or something like that. And I think over the last, like in the last, was it 100 years? No, no, not, what's the time frame? It was something like 185 trillion out of 250 trillion of the total money supply was printed in the last 20 years. Like, we are in hyperinflationary mode. It's terrible. So, what is going to go on? You want to be holding something that can't be printed whenever this all goes down. So, that's why I'm a big fan of Richard, because he seems to understand this stuff really well, and he understands crypto is like the best place to get scarcity, better than the stock market. It's better money. So, I honestly don't know what the question was. Let's see. We'll keep going here for another 20 minutes. You know, we don't want to steal any of the thunder of the show. I'll direct everybody over to that Hexpo when it starts in 20. If the coin launches at zero, does that mean market cap is starting at zero? I mean, no. I guess it's up to the first price. It depends what people care about. Like, what do you want to measure from what the first buy ever was, or the first sell, or something, or is it more accurate to go after like a daily candle? Like, what was the price the first day or second day? Like, if you just because whenever there's like no liquidity, you don't really count that stuff. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what the market cap is either. In the buyback function, what denomination does the DEX use to buy? Oh, good question. Because yeah, good job, Anon Jawa. Well, yeah, well, I don't want to spread misinformation, but I believe all those fees from everything on the chain or whatever, they all get collected separately, and then it all purchases whatever you direct it to. So like it doesn't buy Pulse, like it doesn't like all get collected and buy Pulse and then sell only Pulse. It's like to buy the PulseX. It's whatever has is doing the volume. Those fees are all collected and set aside, and whenever the automatic buy goes through, it uses everything, all from the equal amounts proportionally to everything that had volume in those coins. So it's kind of like every coin is like all buying it, but proportional to what was being traded the most. That's kind of what it does. My understanding. Do you have money in bank accounts? Yes, I have money in a bank account. Like, what? I mean, yeah, you have to. All right, I missed Hex, but have bought about 4K sacked a little into Pulse and was thinking of sacrificing half my Hex before price drop. With the price as low as it is, I'm now thinking of going all in. What about 4K? Okay, sacked a little into Pulse. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to go all in or anything. You got to figure that out for yourself. John J UK, it's up to you, man. I'm not going to tell you when to buy. I like how you phrase it all. Yeah. Thanks, Renob. Oh, I already did that one. Weird. I commend you for streaming, Holmes. Your analogies remind me of me. Okay. All right. I opened up an old Ledger Nano and I had forgot about from 2017 and had ETH in it was $8. Oh, equaled 400. Bought 400 worth of X last month. Nice. What up? I still have some like old 2017 wallets with like old crap coins on it. I don't even know what I want to do with those. Like it's not worth much. It's like a couple thousand or something. But, like I think some of them you can't trade them in like you can't trade them on dexes. So I'm like I'm not gonna reuse a centralized exchange, I guess. So this is useless. It only use Pulse or something with cell pressure. Yeah, yeah, non-Java. Yeah, so that was something someone brought up in the game theory chat, I think, real early on, and I had to think about it, and then I went and I brainstormed and with some people and came up with that's that's how it works. I'm pretty sure. So it's and people have also had this concern, where they're like, oh, well, if it must be selling something constantly to be able to purchase PulseX, and you're like, well, that's going to keep the price of everything down. And if PulseX is its primary pair, then they thought that was going to be the one that gets like dumped the most. But it's not like it goes into that pair and only sells Pulse to get PulseX. It's every pair sells a little bit of itself based on a smaller fraction of the fee that was already going to be set aside anyway. It's not an extra fee on top. And so the only thing in most liquidity providers who get their yield from those trading fees, like if they had zero point 0.3 like in Uniswap, they end up usually selling that yield anyway, The only thing, so it doesn't, they would have affected the price negatively eventually anyway. The only thing we're doing with our built-in buy and burn section of the fee is we're basically forcing those liquidity providers to, they're giving up some of that fee that they would have gotten, but they're happy to provide liquidity there because of the awesome inflationary token, and it has the most liquidity and the most users, so they're happy to be there, even if they're getting less percent fees. But yeah, that percent buy that it's doing and selling of that token based on the volume, it's forcing it to be sold sooner than it may have been. It may have been held on to and could have helped the price of those crappy tokens. So what we're doing is we're actually like siphoning some of the holding and value potential of every other token proportional to their volume that could have been used like for holding. That's actually going to be going into PulseX instead. And so we're siphoning some. It's like we're a little vampire just kind of feeding off of this ecosystem a little bit here. So you want to be the vampire in this situation. You don't want to be the suck-e. That would be sucky. Renab Kid, Kassid, Google just got a profit. Just got a profit? Okay. Not sure what you mean, but thanks, man. Or wait, do you want me to Google that? Google just got a profit. I don't know. I'll do it. Just got a profit. Okay, I don't think that's what you wanted me to do. Okay. I see what you mean. Are you saying you just got some money? I think that's what you're saying. Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And I saw you in the chat a lot. I like my regulars. Goes many ways. All right. Ooh, we're up to $431 million. Thanks for the amazing vids. I'm breaking down all this. Do you have any passion projects you'd like to pursue with your potential crypto profits? Thank you for the good question, Matthew Schweitzer. I think my calling, or what I'm most interested in doing now, it's becoming more and more clear every day, is we need to unlock the potential of the world. And how do we do that? By saving everyone and getting them into crypto. And so I want to onboard the most people in the world to crypto. That's my goal. That's why I want to grow this channel to over 1 million subs. And I want to onboard as many people into crypto because it's the best thing you can do for someone. If you love someone, the best thing you can do is get them into crypto, in my opinion. It means that the money that they hold, that they earned, that they worked for, cannot be stolen from them. Okay? Do you want your loved ones to keep being stolen from? Do you like yourself being stolen from? The only way to get out of the system is to get into crypto. We're so lucky we have crypto, and we're so lucky we have Richard Hart creating these awesome projects that are the most fair and are built on human rights and property rights. So my goal is to onboard as many people in the world as possible, and so that's kind of what I'm all about. So yeah, I gotta get better. I gotta get better at spreading the word. This is just the beginning. I only started like a month or two ago, and we're already at, over 0.5% of the way to 1 million subscribers. But hey, that's something. All right, we got another 10 minutes here. Really glad everyone came by. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I just wanted to celebrate the 5555 subscriber count. I didn't see if anybody claimed to be their 5555 script subscriber, but really appreciate it. And if you haven't liked or commented or yeah, everyone liked the video. Everyone should like the video and subscribe for sure. It's just it's just net positive for you if my channel grows and everyone gets to see more about Pulse Chain and Hex and stuff that you're interested in. Where do you think that money goes? It goes into the market, into the ecosystem that helps your bags. So it's almost like every crypto YouTuber we have in our ecosystem, if you help them out, it's helping yourself out at almost no cost, other than the 3 seconds it took you to think about, do I want to subscribe? Yes. You know. So I try to subscribe to everybody. I need to subscribe to everybody that I know on here, because I'm one of the, I before I became a YouTuber guy, I guess, like I never followed or subscribed or anyone, um, just because I didn't use YouTube that much, that I wasn't like always going back to the same people. I would always kind of only use YouTube to search for exactly what I wanted, instead of just being led down the rabbit hole, Um, wow, thanks, Anand Jawa. I'll get to that in 1 second. And so, well, I don't know what I was talking about now. Oof. Oh well, I got alerted. Anand Jawa says it will be reciprocal because although many companies may fail with lost employees, because the employees hit it big in crypto, many of those newly rich crypto guys will provide. Yeah. Oh, for sure. That is one thing. Dude, you guys do not believe this. These are all, there's like 20 cards here, and there's 3 more there, 10, there's at least like 20 over here. All stuff of me writing down notes of like the most important information I've come across in the past week. It's just from like a week, and I've used like almost 50 index cards front and back. Because I write down stuff that I'm learning something, and then I have an idea about it, and I'll write it out. And as I'm writing it out, sometimes I find that didn't hit home as well as I liked it to, and so I keep working on it, and until I can, because then I really know I know it whenever it totally makes sense to me, and if someone were to say that to me, I'd be like, word. So I write down a lot of stuff, trying to figure everything out, and one of the things was, like, people think, deflation is bad. If you ever read anything about deflation in prices, um, people will tell you, oh, it was bad, deflation was bad because they couldn't keep their workers, anymore. They couldn't keep up with the competition or something, and so there was unemployment because of deflation. That's usually what you hear, and it's like, I don't know if it's propaganda or just what I've read, but what deflation in prices means is that the value of your money has gone up, which is what it would naturally do over time, because over time humans get more innovative and more creative and more efficient. So prices of everything trend towards zero in a non-inflationary model, where you're not arbitrarily creating more money to devalue everything, to devalue everyone else's money. The only reason prices go up is because either supply and demand, or there's just way more money in the supply. So it's it's so ridiculous. Um anyway, and so in the deflationary world, if we didn't have this crazy arbitrary inflation, which we won't have in Pulse Chain in that ecosystem, if your company can't employ people at a livable wage and you can't make money, then the business should fail. It's as simple as that. You have to be more agile. You have to have a better business model and cut some of the fat to be more efficient. And then you free up those people who you were trying to underpay anyway. They're able to go and work on something and be innovative themselves, and actually, like, maybe come up with maybe they'll start their own company because they're not working for you for so little. And so Like this idea that deflationary prices is a bad thing because then business competition is better. I don't understand it. I think it's better to free as many people as possible because their money is so valuable. They don't really you don't have to do that much work because most of the stuff in the world is free already. Like if you have the internet and a phone, you can do like 99 times more than anyone could 100 years ago for free now. Like you don't have to go to Shanghai to have a business meeting with one guy. You can just like you don't have to pay for the train ticket to get to the airport. I don't even know if they didn't have do they have planes? I don't know. 100 years ago, I don't know, man. But you don't have to pay for all that transportation to go and meet someone anymore. It's instant free. You can talk to someone with video nowadays. And so that has all just become free. And so everything just gets more streamlined. You have to use the new technology if you want to provide more value to people so that people can get more for less. Everyone always wants more for less, which is it's basically what an entrepreneur is all about. You're trying to develop something where you have to do less work and get more output. And then you share it with people in the market and everyone's like, yo, dude, word, you figured this out. Now we don't have to waste time on that. We now have more time. I'll give you some of the money I've stored up for that thing that saves me time. And then you just keep doing it. And that's what real wealth is. That's like the real wealth generation. But whenever you distort money and just print money that isn't helping anyone, like creating money out of thin air, I don't understand why anyone thinks that's necessary. Like we know hyperinflation is bad, but just some inflation is okay. Like we know hyperinflation is terrible and it's failed many governments. Even like 2000 years ago, the governments they they just keep making the coinage and then they have hyperinflation. And so it's you got to get into crypto. Crypto is where it's at. It's where you can save your wealth and your family and loved ones' wealth. Ooh, lol Meisterkorn. We got 3 more minutes here. Hey, from Sweden, the bot will buy pressure 0. Of the pulse tokens and burn it. So the lower PulseX price, the more will be. Yeah. The higher price goes, deflation will be smaller. I don't know, man. You gotta ask it a little bit different question, or I'm just tired or something. Um, what no one is talking about. I can't tackle this new market without charts, and no, we can't wait for trading view. Tackle this new market without charts. Oh, are you saying like we need more charts for when PulseChain and PulseX come out? I'm sure we'll be able to see that on like you can use like Dex tools, stuff like that. Free money printer called PulseX. Yeah. I mean it's like a value accruer. It's like money is supposed to gain value over time. You should be able to buy more things with it over time. People just grew up in this world where inflation is just this thing and they think it's natural. It's not. Deflation is the natural course of things. In a few years, someone else will be doing moo sump pumps. My sump pumps, okay? Hey, you should understand that Pulse and PulseX, let's see here, will be very liquid. You can't say that 500 million is not the starting market cap if 500 mil is. I mean, I don't really care about the market cap. The liquidity is up to has nothing to do with the market cap, by the way. Yeah. Market cap has to do, well, I mean, liquidity is up to who in the system wants to provide it. It has nothing to do with the value. If only like one guy wants to provide liquidity for $10,000 on each side, that's the liquidity, you know? Doesn't matter what the market cap is. Young libertarians take the reins. Yeah, I don't even know what I am. I just care about freedom. PulseX becomes a little more rare with every single trade. The more rare a thing is, the more valuable it becomes. Pretty simple. Yeah, I mostly agree. in the case of money, yeah, I would say so. As long as there's no one with some secret button to dilute everybody. Great book, The Price of Tomorrow. Yep, that's on my list to read. I'm reading The Creature of Jekyll Island currently. It's like 1,250 pages or something. I don't hope I can get through it in this month. Everyone else is like, he's crazy, but then everyone still loves Jobs. I don't know. I think people nowadays don't know what it would be like if you got to actually keep the wealth you earned. Isn't that crazy? You're used to someone stealing from you so much, you're like, oh man, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, what? That's pretty crazy. That's what weirds me out. And I'm so excited I learned this like at a young age versus like I feel so terrible. Like I made a video, I didn't release it because I got tears in my eyes thinking about how so many people have not been given what they deserve from their hard work. It's been unfairly redistributed. I'm hitting the like button now. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. No better investment than to keep sacking to the end on PulseX. I mean, I wouldn't sack after the rate goes down. I mean, unless you missed it completely. But yeah, if you can still sacrifice, not a bad idea. Glad to be here with you. So nice to hear someone do real talk. Stay well, Hexkins. That's what's up, Thomas Turner. Hey, Oscar Stefano. What's up, man? He's like an ultra mega galaxy brain. Um, I have like different tiers. I just kind of named them after big brains or game theorists. The final tier of membership is Richard Hart Maximalist. I just kind of made that as a joke. But Oscar is pretty awesome guy, and I really appreciate him, supporting the channel. Do you think Hex will ever get to $1,000? Hey, if the dollar is worth nothing, it can be worth $1,000,000, you know? Does Hex have infinite supply? It does. Best time to sacrifice USDC with lowest gas fees. I mean, people are like, oh, infinite supply, that's bad. Have you heard of the US dollar? Best time to sack USDC with lowest gas fees. Go to etherscan.io/gas tracker. I think there's a chart there that like it tells you the best times of day and what days to buy or to use the network. So you think PulseX can hit $1 within 5 years? Yeah, I do. Sorry, what I mean is if buy pressure is 600 million and price is equal to 1/10,000th of a dollar equals bot buys 6 trillion pulse. So if pulse goes up, elation will be smaller, right? Example. No, you have to understand the liquidity pool. That you're totally not including what's in the pool. That's what matters. Like if you know the price of something, but you don't know how much you can get at that price, it's useless. Like, is it infinite liquidity there? Then the price won't move at all. If it's almost no liquidity, it will go up real high. So you don't have enough information there. Hey, why is it moving too much? Okay. Good time to sack ETH before. Hey, what time is it? Hey, I'm going to tell everybody to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to head out. I'm going to watch some of this online Hexpo by Matty Allen. So definitely give him a like and subscribe. I'm going to find the link for their thing here so I can help everybody out in finding it. Because I would love it if you guys, gave their conference a. Oh, it's in 10 minutes. I guess maybe they're waiting for me to stop. I don't know. But go in there in the chat, say what's up. I'm gonna spam it here. Thanks everybody for showing up. I'll hang out for another like 5 minutes. I really appreciate everybody coming out here, and I think we had some good talks about some stuff today. I know a lot of people just want to hear when price moon, when price up. I mean, that's not really what my channel is supposed to be about. I know a lot of people like that, so I'm probably getting less followers and subscribes and stuff because of that. but I want what's best for the world and humanity, and I don't think just. I mean, I guess if I got more attention from doing what everybody else wanted, I could affect more people, and the ultimate goal is to get everybody into crypto. So, maybe I'll do some more pricey stuff in the future, but I like talking about and helping everyone else understand the mechanics of this stuff so that you guys can make the best decision. I'm not going to just make videos about, whoa, price up, you know. I do think the price is going to do like insane though. So it's like that's just kind of like I already understand the the mechanics like it has to go up versus the dollar. So I'm not worried about it. Like I don't and I understand a lot of people in crypto are they're just using it as like an investment vehicle and you'll probably get rich doing that as long as you're not trading too much. If you hold the right thing, you'll never have to trade again. You may never have to technically work again if you don't want to. It's it's life-changing for you and anyone you get into it, and I would just recommend help as many people as you can learn about this and they will forever be thankful for you to you for helping them out. It's you're giving everyone their time back and their lives back. Like they get what they rightfully deserve in a crypto economy, in my opinion. Day two Hexicans. Oh yeah, I'll be in the Hexpo tomorrow. It's like in the it's nobody here is probably going to be awake. I'm probably barely going to be awake. I made like a tweet about when I realized my face when I realized my time block for the conference is 3 a.m. starting local time. Yeah. It's like 8 p.m. here and I'm like hour 5 of tomorrow. So, I'll be up late. So, you guys will get to see me there. It's only going to be like a short like don't stay up for it, but it'll be in like the social hour. I'm just a part of that. I'm just happy to be that I got invited on such short notice because I just started the channel like 2 months ago or something like that. And so shout out to Maddie. He reached out and he was like, "Hey, you want to be in the thing?" I am gonna be at Las Vegas. If anyone wants to, I would love to meet a lot of people there. Like Hexicans are the coolest people in the world, and so I will be at Vegas in March. So yeah, looking forward to that. Hey, Crypto Vince, what up? I bet you guys have been here for like a long time, and I just noticed now. I totally forgot that. Did I mod people? I guess I modded some people. I don't remember doing that, but all right. Oh, they're not here. I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the wrong chat. Pacha. All right, everybody. I'm gonna let you guys head over to that new channel. Check out the Hexpo, and we'll be watching together. Oh, Tan Nugent just showed up. All right. It was good talking to everybody. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at K4K Crypto. I have a Medium account, K4K Crypto, if you want to read some articles I wrote about this stuff. If you want to like and subscribe on the channel, that'd be awesome. Helps the algorithm. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, and there's two channels. I have two Telegram channels if you want to join. T.me/Pulse Theory, and then the one that just has the best like dense information from two interviews I've seen about the system in the world we live in. It's not like conspiracy theory, it's just talking about the mechanical facts of how the system works. I think it's worth your time to watch that. It'll change your whole perspective. That is at T.me/K4K calls. So check that out and watch those videos. Share it with your family. When I watched those videos and understood the stuff, I had to go and visit the family and the people I love and share it with them, and they found it like world shattering. So I recommend everyone goes and checks that out. Anyway, peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.